Your wallet is not just a holder of money. It is a divine portal, a sacred vessel, a magnetic field through which the riches of the universe flow. It is not empty. It is expectant. It is not lacking. It is living. It is not forgotten. It is favored. I now declare, my wallet is a portal to plenty. My wallet is a portal to prosperity. My wallet is a portal to God's perfect supply. The money I see is only the beginning. The money I don't see is on its way. For every dollar I bless, 10 more are born. For every coin I honor, favor is multiplied. My wallet is no longer a symbol of stress. It is now a sanctuary of spiritual abundance. I speak directly to this wallet, this holy instrument of divine exchange. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are filled. You are supported. You are supernatural. Money flows to you freely from known and unknown sources. Money flows to you faithfully through divine law and perfect timing. Money flows to you endlessly because you are connected to the source of all supply. I now say this in faith. Every time I touch my wallet, I activate divine increase. Every time I open it, I expect overflow. Every time I bless it, I command expansion. I no longer see a wallet. I see a portal. I no longer carry a container. I carry a covenant. I no longer fear lack. I walk with the law of demonstration. The wealth of the Spirit now rushes to me through this portal. The wealth of the world bows to the wealth of God. The riches of the universe recognize my voice and they answer. I decree this for 7 days, and I seal it for 7 lifetimes. I repeat it not in doubt, but in certainty. I speak it not for hoping, but for knowing. My wallet is a portal. My wallet is a portal. My wallet is a portal. And I bless it. I honor it. I speak to it, and I activate it. It is done. It is done. It is done. Speak to your wallet daily. Call it a portal, not a purse. The name you give it, the energy you place upon it, becomes the law it operates under. When you treat your wallet as ordinary, it will behave as ordinary. When you see it as just a place to store money, it will only ever carry what you think it's capable of. But when you begin to call it a portal, a divine doorway, a channel of flow, a spiritual access point, then heaven and earth rearrange themselves to honor that declaration. You see, words are seeds, and when you speak to your wallet, you are planting wealth consciousness deep into the soil of your spirit. You are no longer letting the world tell you how much you can have. You are no longer reacting to what's inside. You are now speaking to it with authority. You are now assigning it a new identity, not as a container of what was, but as a carrier of what shall be. So I say, in the spirit of divine truth, wallet, you are my portal. You are the channel through which divine riches flow. You are the intersection of my faith and God's provision. You are more than leather, more than cloth, more than an object. I speak life into you. I speak supply into you. I speak overflow into you. Let the old memories of lack dissolve now. Let the fear that once trembled every time you opened it be washed away in this light of truth. Your wallet is no longer a reminder of what's missing. It is now a symbol of what's coming. It is now the meeting point between my declaration and my demonstration. I speak not to beg. I speak to command. I speak not from lack. I speak from law. I say it again and again, as if it were breath itself. My wallet is a portal. My wallet is a portal. My wallet is a portal. The more I bless it, the more it blesses me. The more I speak to it with love, the more it attracts love in the form of financial favor. I do not curse what I carry. I sanctify it. I elevate it. I give it permission to grow, to expand, to radiate divine energy. There is no shame here. There is no scarcity. There is no guilt in wanting more. There is no sin in calling in abundance. For I do not seek money for money's sake. I seek to express God's opulence through every area of my life, and I know that if I can speak to mountains and they move, I can speak to my wallet, and it must obey. And so I begin. Every morning I lay my hand upon it, not in fear but in faith. I say, "You are full, you are favored, you are fertile to ground." Every night are Maclaire. "You are majestic, you are majestic, you are miraculous." When I am in doubt, I return to you, not to check your contents, but to remind myself that divine supply is never limited to what I see. When I feel the world tightening, I speak even louder. I say, "Wallet, you are a portal. Wallet, you are a portal. Wallet, you are a portal." For 7 days I will do this, not as ritual, but as resurrection. I will speak as one who knows. I will declare as one who walks in spiritual authority. I will honor my wallet not for what it is, but for what it is becoming. I no longer carry a passive purse. I carry a prophetic portal. And it listens. Oh, it listens, because all of life responds to faith-filled words spoken in love. And from this place of holy remembrance, I begin to bless not only what I see, but every coin, every note, every financial symbol that lies within. I begin to awaken the next truth, the next activation, the next divine step, that everything inside is sacred, that the money I have, however small, however simple, is already vibrating with the law of increase, that the blessing I place upon it is more powerful than the amount itself. So I move now into that blessing. I step beyond the outer appearance. I lean into the second key of this decree. I begin to speak to the contents with the same divine reverence I spoke to the carrier. I bless every coin and every note inside, and in doing so I activate the ancient and unbreakable law of increase. And now I bless every coin and every note inside, and in doing so I activate the ancient and unbreakable law of increase. For what I bless multiplies. What I give thanks for grows. What I honor returns to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not imagination. This is divine law. The same law that governs the stars governs your wallet. The same law that grows a seed into a forest can grow $1 into 1,000. But it begins not in the hand. It begins in the heart. It begins in the words you speak and the energy you give. I hold my wallet gently now. I open it with reverence. I do not frown. I do not fear. I do not judge. I bless. I bless what is there, and I bless what is coming. I bless every coin for the path it took to arrive in my life. I bless every note as a messenger of divine flow. I bless the past transactions and the future increase. I speak directly to the money I see, no matter how much or how little, and I say, "You are blessed. You are divine. You are a gift from the infinite supply of the universe. You are not small. You are sacred." I bless every coin. I bless every coin. I bless every coin. I bless every note. I bless every note. I bless every note. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for staying. Thank you for multiplying. Thank you for circulating. Thank you for expanding. Thank you for being faithful to me. There is no such thing as just a coin or only a few bills. In the language of divine supply, all is significant, all is spiritual, all is living substance, and when I honor the little, I make way for the large. When I bless the small, I invite the great. I do not despise the day of small beginnings, for I know this: money has ears and it listens to love. Money has memory, and it remembers where it's welcomed. Money has movement, and it returns to those who receive it with gratitude instead of guilt. So I say again, I bless you, money. I bless you, divine currency. I bless you, symbol of sacred support. I do not fear you. I do not worship you. I do not chase you. I bless you, and because I bless you, I allow you to flow freely. You are not blocked. You are not trapped. You are not stopped. You are in motion. You are in rhythm. You are in harmony with the abundance of the heavens. Every time I touch you, I activate the law of increase. Every time I look upon you with love, I ignite the law of return. Every time I speak over you with blessing, I set the law of multiplication into motion. You do not shrink under gratitude. You expand under it. You do not disappear in thankfulness. You manifest through it. The more I bless you, the more you come back to me, in new forms, from new directions, through unexpected channels. So I hold my wallet, not with judgment, but with joy. I count what I have not with worry, but with wonder. I am in awe of the law. I am in awe of this moment. I am in awe of the creative force that turns invisible supply into visible substance. And now I rise even higher. I elevate not only the words, but the space. I realize this truth, that my wallet holds more than money. It holds meaning, or everything abundant is either a symbol of abundance or a shadow of abundance, one that has wonder, or a shadow of lack, that I must choose carefully what I allow to remain. That if my wallet is truly a portal, it must be treated like one. So I prepare to move into the next sacred truth. I prepare to cleanse the space and lift the vibration. I prepare to remove what no longer serves and only keep what carries the signature of abundance. I prepare to look within and ask, does what's inside this wallet affirm my faith in divine provision or remind me of my fears? For now I know every object speaks. Every item within the wallet holds a vibration. Every crumpled receipt, every expired card, every note of debt silently tells a story. And I am ready to change the story. I am ready to clear the channel. I am ready to fill this wallet not just with money, but with meaning that matches my vision. So I bless every coin and note one last time. I thank them for their service. I release all fear, and I open myself to what's next. I am ready to only keep money symbols of abundance, not receipts its lack. I am ready to cleanse the portal. I am ready to honor the space. I am ready to activate the next level of flow, and now I turn inward with gentleness and reverence as I look into the sacred space of my wallet. I open it slowly, not to judge, but to clear, not to fear, but to elevate. I recognize that everything inside carries a vibration. Every paper, every card, every folded receipt is speaking. Some are whispering abundance, others are echoing lack. But today I choose to cleanse. Today I choose to create a space that reflects the wealth I know is already mine. I no longer carry what burdens me. I no longer hold on to proof of lack. I no longer collect reminders of where I once struggled, receipts of fear, expired cards of old decisions, clutter of past purchases. I bless them, and I let them go. I release what no longer aligns with my abundant future. I release what does not resonate with divine supply. This wallet is not storage. It is sacred space. It is a portal. And portals must be clear. Portals must be intentional. Portals must vibrate with the energy of what you wish to receive. So I clear it. I honor it. I purify it. I say aloud with power and peace. I only keep what symbolizes abundance. I only hold what reflects prosperity. I only carry what activates increase. I do not need to carry debt reminders. I do not need to hold on to evidence of limitation. I do not need the energetic weight of what I once feared. I bless the receipts that served me. I thank them for what they taught me. And now I say, your lesson is complete. Your purpose is fulfilled. You may go now. You may leave this portal with grace. I only keep symbols of increase. I only keep symbols of increase. I only keep symbols of increase. I only carry reminders of flow. I only carry reminders of flow. I only carry reminders of flow. I now make room. I now make room. I now make room for more, for greater, for divine overflow. Each space I clear invites more in. Each item I release makes way for greater. Each unnecessary paper I remove becomes a declaration that I am no longer available for cluttered consciousness. I am no longer available for old stories of not enough. I am no longer available for a wallet that weighs me down. I am only available for divine ease, sacred flow, and unlimited prosperity. My wallet becomes lighter, and so does my soul. My wallet becomes clearer, and so does my mind. My wallet becomes intentional, and so does my life. Every time I open it now, I feel peace. Every time I look inside, I see preparation. Every time I place something within, I do so with purpose. I am not unconscious anymore. I am not random anymore. I am not carrying things that speak against my vision. Now I bless what remains. I bless the notes that represent divine flow. I bless the card that opens doors to what serves me. I bless the empty space, too, for it is not emptiness, it is expectancy. It is not lack, it is readiness. It is not a void, it is a vessel waiting to be filled. And as I hold this wallet, now cleansed and consecrated, I declare, I am ready to visualize overflow. I am ready to expect more. I am ready to align the inner and the outer. No longer do I look with doubt. No longer do I open this sacred space with dread. I open it now with vision. I open it now with hope. I open it now with certainty. Because the divine law responds to what I expect, not just what I earn. The universe multiplies what I visualize, not just what I spend. What I see within becomes what I receive without. So I prepare my inner eye. I prepare my imagination. I prepare my spirit to see the wallet not as it is, but as it is becoming, full, blessed, overflowing. And I let that vision become my next decree. I step into the sacred work of imagining my wallet filled with more than enough. Not once, not for a moment, but continually, perpetually, without effort, without end. I do not wish for overflow. I visualize it. I do not plead for more. I expect it, so I breathe now. I breathe into this truth. I let the flow begin with my thoughts, and I let it expand with my faith. I prepare to move into that next sacred decree. I prepare to open the portal with divine eyes. I prepare to visualize overflow every time I open it, and expect more. Because now I know it is not about how much is there, but how deeply I believe more is already on the way. And now, with the sacred space of my wallet cleared and consecrated, I allow the vision of abundance to take root in my mind and rise in my spirit. I no longer open it to see what's missing. I open it to remember what's coming. I no longer gaze into it with anxiety. I gaze into it with expectancy. For as I open my wallet, I open my heart. As I visualize dem and flow, I awaken divine demonstration. I let go of past habits of worry and fear, and I step into the spiritual law that says, as within, so without. As I believe, so I receive. So I open this wallet now not just with my hands, but with my imagination. I see it full. I see it flourishing. Notes that multiply. I see cards that open doors to more. I see a holy light around it because it has become a symbol of my trust in the imagined lack. I do not picture overflow. I do not picture struggle. I picture social, and then gain the carry who it for a Pollock. It's his first soul. I do not wait for proof. I create it in my mind first, knowing that what I consistently visualize, I magnetize, and I say aloud with faith and conviction, I visualize overflow. I visualize overflow. I visualize overflow. Every time I open my wallet, I expect more. I expect more. I expect more. Not from effort, but from alignment. Not from toil, but from trust. More from known and divine known sources. More from divine surprises, more from expected harvests and unexpected gifts. This is no longer just a container for money. This is a reminder that I live under an open heaven. This is a sign that my supply is not limited by legages or wages or hours or people's opinions. My supply is spiritual. My income is divine. And the wallet I hold is simply one of the many ways God pours good into my life. So I keep the image before. I filled, bless it. I feel it before flowing. I feel it before I see it. I praise it before it arrives. I speak it before it manifests. I do not wait to believe. I believe to create. I do not react to what's in front of me. I align with what's already promised. I visualize overflow. I visualize overflow. I visualize overflow. I expect more. I expect more. I expect more. I do not beg. I do not plead. I do not worry. I expect miracles. I expect natural timing. I expect supernatural deposits. I expect supernatural deposits. I expect the right people, the right doors, the right opportunities to come rushing into my life. And I declare, as I hold this wallet now, I expect my cup to run over. I expect favor to follow me. I expect every bill to be paid, every need to be met, every dream to be funded. I expect joy in giving, peace in spending, and wisdom in receiving. But my wallet is a portal, and I treat it with reverence. More than that, I treat my expectations as holy ground, because what I expect I attract. What I declare, I draw near. What I visualize, I materialize. So I breathe into this truth. I linger in this vision. I carry this image with me. Every time I open my wallet, I return to this spiritual sight. Every time I look inside, I remind myself that more is on the way. Every time I feel tempted to doubt back to the truth, the overflow is already mine. Increase is already moving. The divine provision is already unfolding. And from this place of sacred vision, I move into the next law. I declare it boldly, faithfully, and joyfully, that my wallet is not just a symbol of what I carry, but a channel through which divine supply flows. I step now into the next decree. Divine supply flows through this wallet without delay, without blockage, without fear, without resistance, because I am ready, and the flow has already begun. And as I rest in the vision of overflow, as I hold the image of my wallet filled with divine supply, I now release any thought of delay. I no longer believe that provision must take time. I no longer make room for the belief that increase is slow. For I know this truth now. Divine supply flows through this wallet without delay. Not tomorrow, when I'd someday, not when I deserve it. Now, because the moment I align, the moment I believe, the when I to moment in faith, the flow begin. I do not wait for the world. I do not wait for conditions. I do not wait for perfect timing. The timing is already perfect when I align with divine law. And that law says, it is the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom, not in pieces, not in rations, not in lay, but in wholeness, in fullness, and in the now. So I say it aloud with peace in my voice and power in my breath. Divine supply flows through this wallet without delay. Divine supply flows through this wallet without delay. Divine supply flows through this wallet without delay. I believe it. I receive it. I embody it. I trust it. Every time I hold this wallet, I feel the movement of money. I sense the spiritual substance already in motion. I feel the current of provision flowing to me in perfect rhythm. I do not resist it. I do not question it. I well fear it. I allow it. I welcome it. I say yes to it. Divine supply knows no obstruction. Divine supply is never late. Divine supply is never uncertain. It flows freely, faithfully, continually, and it flows through this wallet because I have prepared it as a portal. This wallet is now a channel. This wallet is now a riverbed. This wallet is now a sacred gate. I have spoken life into it. I have cleansed it with love. I have filled it with vision. And now I declare that nothing shall stop the flow of good that is ordained for me. No more delay, no more doubt, no more detours. What is mine finds me now. What is meant for me comes with ease. What is assigned to me appears in divine speed. And I say this again, divine supply flows through this wallet without delay. My needs are met before I even speak them. My supply is on timed before I even knock. My blessings are dispatched before I even knock. I no longer live by the clock. I live by divine alignment. I choose to trust divine flow. I choose to trust divine order. I choose to trust divine acceleration. I let go of timelines. I release pressure. I abandon struggle. I do not try to force the flow with it. I do not chase. I chase supply. I make space for it. I do wealth of the Spirit, a generous and great. The wealth of the Spirit, abundant, and immediate. And it flows through this wallet, this portal of faith, without resistance and without end. I feel the peace of that now. I feel the rest of that now. I feel the softness and the certainty of that divine decree. I do not have to figure out how. I do not have to know the method. I only have to affirm the truth, bless the flow, and expect the outcome. It is not my job to make it happen. It is my job to align with it. And I do, freely, faithfully. So I rise into the next sacred no, ride to the next sacred knowing, that if this wallet is truly a portal of wealth, then it must be treated as sacred. It must be honored, protected, and kept with love. Not just what's in it, but the wallet itself. The container is just as holy as the contents. And so I move gently into the next decree. I prepare to elevate even the outer form. I prepare to give it the dignity it deserves. I prepare to treat my wallet as sacred, clean, overflow, ready, because where honor lives, what of honor lives, and his flash follows. And now, as I welcome the truth that divine supply flows through this wallet without delay, I turn my attention to the vessel itself. I turn my attention to the form that holds the flow. I understand now that the way I treat my wallet is the way I treat my wealth. The outer is always a reflection of the inner. I can no longer speak abundance while neglecting the very container I've called a portal. I can no longer expect divine overflow to pour into something I treat with disregard. If I want my money to feel safe with me, then I must create a space of honor. If I want prosperity to stay, then I must prepare a home worthy of its presence. So I look at my wallet now with new eyes, not just as an object, but as a sacred vessel. I clean it gently. I touch it with care. I remove every trace of chaos, disorder, and old energy. I bless the fabric, the zipper, the compartments. I speak to every part of it with love. You are sacred. You are honored. You are ready. You are clean, and you are prepared for increase. You are no longer cluttered. You are no longer forgotten. You are now a home for wealth, a temple for prosperity, a resting place for divine provision. And I say aloud with reverence and faith, I treat my wallet as sacred. I treat my wallet as sacred. I keep it clean. I keep it honored. I keep it ready. I do not toss it aside. I do not let it fall to the floor. I do not treat it carelessly, for it is holding my covenant with divine supply. This is no longer just a thing I carry. It is a mirror of what I believe. If I believe in divine order, my wallet will reflect divine order. If I believe in holy provision, my wallet will show signs of care. If I believe that I am a steward of spiritual wealth, then my stewardship must begin with how I care for the physical. So I bless it again. I cleanse it again. I remove what no longer belongs. Only symbols of increase shall remain. Only tools of abundance may live here. Every card I carry, every note I place, every item I tuck inside must carry the vibration of truth, ease, and overflow. I release the energy of just enough. I make room for more than enough. I let go of holding on in fear. I make space in faith, because what is honored multiplies. What is respected returns. What is cherished expands. I keep my wallet in a place of dignity, not tossed, not buried, not forgotten. It is not hidden under piles. It is not filled with past due notices. It is not a storage of regret. It is a symbol of readiness, a symbol that says, I expect wealth. I welcome wealth. I make space for wealth. And I say again with sacred repetition, I treat my wallet as sacred. I treat my wallet as sacred. I treat my wallet as sacred. It is clean. It is honored. It is ready. It is no longer just mine. It is divine. And in this moment I feel a shift, a deep, calm readiness. I have called in the flow. I have blessed what I carry. I have visualized the increase. I have aligned with divine timing. And now I have honored the vessel. I feel the preparation is complete. I feel that something powerful has been activated. I feel that the portal is open. And with that stillness, I step into the final Sayat act, the seventh decree. A simple yet mighty invitation to faith, a call to speak with consistency, a command to declare with rhythm and devotion. I prepare now to say this decree for 7 days, not once, not casually, not when I remember, but with devotion, with faith, with spiritual fire. For I know now, when I speak to my wallet in alignment for 7 days, I awaken something ancient and eternal. I activate the full power of the law. I ignite the miracle. So, I prepare to enter into that rhythm. I prepare to say this to my wallet for 7 days and watch what finds its way to me. I prepare not for the ordinary, but for the divine, because what I decree with faith, I receive with certainty. And the flow has already begun, and now, with my wallet treated as sacred, clean, honored, and ready, I enter into the final act of faith, the final decree that completes the circle, seals the portal, and activates divine demonstration. I no longer need to wonder. I no longer need to ask again and again. I have prepared the space. I have spoken the word. I have visualized the overflow. And now I simply say this to my wallet for 7 days. And I watch what finds its way to me, not because I am forcing, but because I am flowing. Not because I am hoping, but because I am knowing. Not because I am waiting, but because I am already aligned with the truth that money moves when the soul is ready. 7 days, 7 sacred days, 7 divine invitations to speak into the unseen and command it to take form. 7 days of waking up with faith and laying down in peace. 7 days of speaking directly to the portal in my hand, with love in my voice and certainty in my spirit. 7 days of becoming one with abundance. So I speak. You are a portal. You are not a wallet. You are a sacred channel of divine increase. Every time I touch you, I activate overflow. Every time I open you, I expect more. You are not empty. You are expectant. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not still. You are magnetic. I say this in the morning. You are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. I say this at night. You are abundant. You are abundant. You are abundant. I say this with joy. You are full of promise. You are full of supply. You are full of miracles. I will say it even if I feel lack. I will say it even if my mind wants to doubt. I will say it when I feel strong. I will say it when I feel unsure. Because this is not about feeling. It is about faith. This is not about what I see. It is about what I decree. 7 days of truth, 7 days of devotion, 7 days of transformation. For I know that what I repeat, I become. What I affirm, I invite. What I decree, I demonstrate. This is not superstition. This is spiritual law. This is not fantasy. This is divine alignment. So I commit, I choose, I decide to speak life to my wallet for 7 days, to treat this as sacred work, to hold this as holy practice. Because the power is not in the length, it is in the faith. The power is not in the words, it is in the belief. And I believe deeply. I believe completely. I believe that something will shift. I believe that something will arrive. I believe that something is already happening. So I speak again. You are my portal. You are my covenant. You are my channel of wealth. You are open. You are magnetic. You are flowing. You are blessed. You are expanding. You are ready. I say this with the same breath that speaks life over my dreams. I say this with the same faith that calls mountains to move. I say this with the same authority that speaks worlds into existence. 7 days of calling it done. 7 days of honoring the truth. 7 days of turning the invisible into the inevitable. And as I do not need to watch the clock. I do not need to look for signs. I rest. I trust. I receive. Because when I say this to my wallet for 7 days, the universe listens. Because when I speak with love, with reverence, with certainty, the law is activated. Because when I align my words, my thoughts, and my vessel, money comes. Overflow arrives. Provision finds me. I no longer chase, I attract. I no longer worry, I witness. I no longer beg, I bless. And I know, deep in the marrow of my being, that what I decree is already on its way. Because I have spoken, because I have aligned, because I have honored the portal and activated the promise. It is done. It is done. It is done. Now let it unfold. Let it multiply. Let it return to me in ways I cannot yet imagine. Let money come freely. Let favor come suddenly. Let wealth come faithfully. I have spoken. I have aligned. I have decreed. And so it is. I now rest in divine assurance. I have spoken the truth, and the truth is working for me. I have blessed the portal, and the flow is already on its way. I do not chase. I do not fear. I do not doubt. I relax into receiving. I soften into trust. I breathe in peace. Everything I need is already finding its path to me. Every desire I hold in faith is already unfolding in perfect time. My wallet is no longer a place of worry. It is a place of wonder. My wallet is no longer a symbol of lack. It is a vessel of overflow. I am aligned with abundance. I am anchored in peace. I am open to miracles. I am surrounded by favor. Each breath I take welcomes increase. Each word I speak confirms supply. Each day I walk with quiet confidence that divine wealth is mine. I am cared for. I am supported. I am provided for. Always, abundantly, and without delay. I give thanks. I release. I receive, and so it is.
Beloved, money is never absent in spirit. What looks like lack in the outer world is only an illusion. At the very moment you think you have nothing, heaven has already prepared your supply. But here is the truth many forget. Supply does not come through worry, through panic, or through fear. Supply answers only to faith, and faith speaks through words. Your words are not empty sounds. They are commands written upon the air. When you declare lack, you build lack. When you declare abundance, you open the gates of provision. The world may say, "You are broke." But heaven says, "You are provided for." The choice of which voice you agree with rests upon your tongue. I tell you today, when you do not have money, you are not helpless. You are not abandoned. You are one decree away from turning the tide. One spoken word of faith can cancel 1,000 fears. 4 words, spoken with conviction, can shift the atmosphere around you. These 4 words are not a formula. They are not a trick. They are truth itself. Speak them, believe them, feel them, and supply must obey. Beloved, lean in, for I will reveal them to you. And once you know, you will never look at lack the same again. Beloved, words are the substance of creation. Every tree, every star, every breath of wind was first spoken into existence by the Word. The Bible declares, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." If all that exists was born from a word, how much more must your daily words shape the life you live? When you do not have money, the temptation is to say what you see. I am broke. I cannot afford this. I never have enough. But hear me, those words are not innocent. They are decrees. Each time you speak them, you call lack into your atmosphere. Your tongue is the pen, and your life is the paper. What you write upon it, you must read. What you speak into it, you must live. This is why so many live in cycles of shortage. They pray for provision, yet every hour they confess lack. They ask for abundance, yet with their next breath they declare poverty. Spirit cannot contradict your own decree. Heaven moves in agreement with faith, not fear. And every careless word is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious. Sow broke, and you will reap broke. Sow never enough, and you will reap never enough. A Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man can change his conditions by changing his words." She did not say by force, or by struggle, or by endless worry. She said by words. Because words are not small things, beloved. Words are vibrations, and vibration attracts form. Speak of shortage, and shortage is drawn to you. Speak of supply, and supply finds you without delay. Think of it this way. Your words are like doors. Each one you speak either opens a door to blessing or bolts it shut. When you say, I cannot afford it, you slam a door in the face of opportunity. When you say, I never have enough, you lock yourself out of abundance. But when you say, God is my supply, you throw open the gates of heaven. You allow provision to march in because your word aligns with divine law. Let me give you a picture. Imagine standing in a garden with a watering can in your hand. Each word you speak is a drop of water. If you water weeds, worry, fear, doubt, they will grow taller, faster, stronger. But if you water seeds of truth, faith, abundance, prosperity, those flowers will bloom. The garden does not choose for you. The soil does not argue. It simply grows what you plant. So it is with life. Your life does not argue with your words. It multiplies them. Beloved, I ask you, what are you watering each day? Are you feeding the weeds of lack with constant worry, constant talk of shortage, constant sighs of defeat? Or are you watering the seeds of abundance with decrees of faith? Now hear me clearly. This is not about pretending you have money you do not see. It is about choosing which reality you will align with, the temporary illusion of lack or the eternal truth of supply. When you say, I am broke, you bow before the illusion. When you say, God is my supply, you align with eternal truth. One is worship at the altar of fear. The other is worship at the throne of faith. And do not say, but Florence, I must be realistic. Beloved, what is reality? Is it the fleeting number on a bank statement, or is it the eternal promise that my God shall supply all your need? Which has more weight, a passing figure or an unbreakable law? Realism is not repeating what fear shows you. Realism is standing on the rock of truth when all else shakes. This is why your words matter most when money is absent. Anyone can speak abundance when the purse is full. True faith is proven when the purse is empty, and yet the tongue declares, I am rich in spirit, and my supply is on its way. That decree pulls unseen supply into sight. That decree shifts atmosphere, rearranges circumstances, and commands money to appear in perfect timing. So guard your lips, beloved. Speak not lack, even in jest. Speak not shortage, even in passing. Every word is a seed, every word is a decree, every word is a door. And today you must decide which harvest you want to reap, which law you want to enforce, which door you want to open. Let us seal this with practice. Say with me, I never speak lack. I only speak supply. My words are doors to abundance, and today I open them wide. I decree that money flows to me under grace and in perfect ways. Beloved, we have come to the heart of this message. I told you that when you do not have money, you are not powerless. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are one decree away from provision, and that decree is captured in 4 simple words. 4 words that turn fear into faith, stress into peace, lack into supply. 4 words that open the windows of heaven and command angels of abundance to move on your behalf. These words are not mine, they are eternal. They are not a trick, they are truth. The 4 words are God is my supply. Say them now, slowly, with reverence. God is my supply, not man, not wages, not banks, not circumstances, not luck, not chance. God is my supply. The moment these words leave your lips with faith, the atmosphere begins to shift. Fear loosens its grip, stress weakens. Doubt trembles, for you have turned your attention away from the illusion of lack and fixed it on the eternal source. Most people see money as their supply. They say, if only I had more money, I would be safe. But money is not the source. It is only a channel. Channels may open and close, but the source never runs dry. If one door shuts, another opens. If one stream ends, another begins. You are never without because God is your supply and God is endless. The Apostle Paul declared, my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Notice, he did not say some of your need. He did not say only the small needs. He said all your need. That means bills, debts, rent, food, clothing, opportunities. All are included in all. And how are they supplied? not by the limits of earth, but by the riches of heaven. That is why the four words carry such weight. They remind you that supply is not bound by numbers on a screen or dollars in a wallet. Supply comes from a source greater than banks, greater than jobs, greater than governments. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that when you say, "God is my supply," you cut off the cords of fear that tie you to man as your source. You release the stress of thinking you must figure it all out yourself. You rest in the knowledge that Spirit already knows your need, already prepared your answer, already sent your supply. These words shift the burden from your shoulders to the everlasting arms. Now let me show you how to use them. Do not whisper them with doubt. Do not mumble them as a last resort. Speak them with authority. Each time a bill arrives, lay your hand upon it and declare, "God is my supply." Each time you feel the pang of fear about money, stop and say aloud, "God is my supply." Each morning before you face the world, speak into the air around you, "God is my supply." And do not only say them, feel them. Let peace rise in your chest as you declare them. Let the tension leave your shoulders as you remember you are not your own provider. Let joy bubble up as you realize that money is not your master, God is. And God is generous, faithful, unchanging, abundant. Beloved, I tell you, this one soul who declares, "God is my supply," with faith can change their entire destiny. Doors will open that seemed shut. Unexpected money will appear in perfect timing. Opportunities will chase you down. People will bless you without knowing why. Why? Because your decree shifts your vibration, and the law of attraction answers it. Fear attracts lack, but faith attracts supply. These four words are your key. Repeat them until they become your instinct. Say them when fear rises in the night. Say them when doubt whispers in the morning. Say them when others around you complain of shortage. While the world speaks of recession, you speak of supply. While others say, "We are broke," you say, "God is my supply." While the outer world shakes, you stand unshaken, because your source is eternal. So let us speak it now as a decree, not once, but 3 times to seal it. God is my supply. God is my supply. God is my supply. And so it is. Beloved, words alone are mighty, but when words are clothed in vision and feeling, they become unstoppable. The 4 words, "God is my supply," carry the full force of heaven, yet to speak them without vision is like planting a seed and never watering it. To speak them with vision and feeling is to watch that seed sprout, bloom, and bear fruit. So let us go deeper. The moment you say, "God is my supply," close your eyes and see it. See yourself surrounded not by lack, but by light. See streams of golden abundance flowing toward you from every direction. Unexpected checks in the mail, opportunities opening like flowers, bills stamped paid in full. Picture your wallet not empty but full. See your bank account not dwindling but multiplying. As you speak, paint pictures on the canvas of your mind that agree with your decree. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." This is why many prayers go unanswered. They beg for abundance but inwardly picture lack. They speak words of prosperity but still see themselves as poor. Their words and their visions are divided, and a divided house cannot stand. But when your word and your vision are one, manifestation must follow. So let us practice together. Say aloud, "God is my supply." Now close your eyes and imagine yourself walking into a store without worry. You see what you desire, you purchase it with peace, you walk out with joy. There is no anxiety, no doubt, no heaviness, only freedom. Now say again, "God is my supply." This time, imagine sitting at your table, bills before you. One by one, you see them stamped paid in full. Relief washes over you. Your shoulders drop, your chest opens, your heart rests. That is the feeling of truth taking root. Beloved, the mind is a projector. Whatever film you place inside it, life will play upon the screen of your affairs. If you run reels of lack, life will show lack. If you play reels of provision, life will show provision. This is why visualization is holy work. It is not fantasy, it is prophecy. It is the rehearsal of faith until faith becomes fact. The more vividly you see it, the faster it comes. Feel the weight of money in your hands. Hear the sound of gratitude in your voice as you say, "Thank you, God. My supply is endless." Smell the freshness of freedom when you know every need is met. Taste the sweetness of life without stress. Do not leave any sense untouched. Let your entire being agree with your decree. And let gratitude be your seal. Gratitude is proof of belief. You do not thank for what you doubt. You thank for what you know is yours. Each time you say, God is my supply, follow it with a simple, thank you. Thank you that it is done. Thank you that I am provided for. Thank you that supply flows now. Gratitude is the final brushstroke that completes the painting. Beloved, this practice is not to be done once and forgotten. It must become your rhythm. In the morning, before your feet touch the floor, declare, God is my supply, and see your day unfolding in abundance. During the day, whenever stress arises, pause, speak the 4 words, and replace the picture of lack with a vision of overflow. At night before sleep, whisper, God is my supply, and drift into dreams where every need is already met. If you do this faithfully, you will notice a shift. The anxiety will fade, replaced by calm. The panic will dissolve, replaced by peace, and soon the outer world will rearrange itself to match the inner truth. Opportunities will appear. Money will arrive. Solutions will present themselves. For the law is unbreakable as within, so without. So let us seal this section with a decree of vision. Place your hand over your heart, close your eyes, and say slowly, God is my supply. I see myself rich. I see myself free. I see my bills paid, my wallet full, my bank account overflowing. I feel peace in my soul, joy in my heart, and abundance in my life. God is my supply, and I am provided for under grace and in perfect ways. Say it until the picture becomes more real than the fear. For the picture you hold is the life you will live. Beloved, truth is not a one-time act, it is a daily walk. Just as you eat daily to sustain your body, so must you speak and decree daily to sustain your spirit. The 4 words, God is my supply, are not meant to be spoken once and forgotten. They are your bread, your water, your shield, your sword. The more you repeat them with faith, the more they saturate your subconscious until fear has no place to hide. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, your word is your wand. But a wand in the drawer has no power. It must be lifted, swung, and used. In the same way, your daily practice of affirmations is the lifting of your wand, the wielding of your authority, the aligning of your life with divine law. So let us make a pattern. In the morning, before the noise of the world begins, rise and speak these 4 words aloud 3 times. God is my supply. God is my supply. God is my supply. Do not rush them. Speak slowly with reverence, as though angels are listening, and they are. As you speak, see your day unfolding in provision. Picture yourself walking in peace, every need met before it arises. This is how you clothe yourself for the day, not only with garments but with decree. During the day, carry these words as a shield. When fear whispers, answer at once. When doubt knocks, respond with certainty. If you are at the grocery store and worry stirs, pause and say softly, God is my supply. If you see a bill and feel panic rise, place your hand upon it and declare, God is my supply. Each repetition drives the truth deeper, like hammering a nail into solid wood until it holds firm. You may even create variations of the decree to keep your practice alive and flowing. God is my supply, and my supply is endless. God is my supply, and my money comes under grace. God is my supply, and I never stress about money. God is my supply, and all my needs are already met. But each variation is like a different note in the same melody. Together they form a song of abundance that plays in your soul all day long. At night, as you prepare for sleep, let these words be the last upon your lips. God is my supply. Whisper them until your body rests and your spirit drifts into dreams. For even in the night, your subconscious listens, and when it hears faith, it works through the dark hours to arrange your affairs in perfect ways. Many have awakened after such practice to find unexpected provision waiting. Letters in the mail, opportunities offered, money arriving without effort. Why? Because while they rested, their decree was working. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of consistency. A single seed planted may sprout, but a garden watered daily will bloom in beauty. A word spoken once may inspire, but a word spoken daily will transform. The more you repeat, the stronger the truth becomes in you, until fear cannot find entry and stress has no foothold. Make these 4 words your rhythm. Write them upon slips of paper and place them where your eyes will fall, on your mirror, your desk, your wallet. Record them in your voice and play them as you drive. Whisper them under your breath as you walk. Let no day pass without hearing them in your own voice, for your own voice carries the most authority over your subconscious. And remember, beloved, this practice is not begging God to give you something He has withheld. It is reminding yourself of what has always been true. You are not trying to convince God. You are convincing your own heart. God has never stopped being your supply. Only fear blinded you. Only stress deceived you. Only doubt whispered otherwise. Each repetition of these 4 words clears away the illusion and reveals the truth. So let us seal this practice now with decree. Place your hand upon your heart and say aloud, God is my supply. I rise in supply. I walk in supply. I sleep in supply. I am never late. I am never lacking. For my supply is endless, secure, and always on time. God is my supply, and I am rich in faith, rich in peace, rich in provision. Speak this morning and night in calm and storm, in need and in plenty. Make it your breath, your song, your shield. And soon you will see that the words were never empty. They were law, waiting to be spoken. Beloved, we have walked the path together. We have unmasked stress as a false god, exposed fear as inverted faith, and revealed the power of decree. We have spoken of the law of substitution. We have painted visions of overflow. We have practiced daily affirmations. And now we arrive at the summit, the final decree. This is the moment you seal the truth upon your heart, so deeply that no whisper of lack can uproot it. The 4 words you have learned, God is my supply, are not a charm, not a trick, not an empty phrase. They are eternal law. They are a covenant between your soul and spirit. They are the key that unlocks every door, the staff that parts every sea, the light that dissolves every shadow of lack. When you speak them, you do not speak as a beggar. You speak as a child of the King. When you decree them, you do not plead for scraps. You claim the banquet already prepared for you before the foundation of the world. So let us lift our voices now in decree. Say with me, slowly, firmly, with authority, God is my supply. My supply is endless, secure, and always on time. I do not fear lack, for lack is an illusion. I do not bow to stress, for stress is a false master. I walk in peace, I walk in abundance, I walk in divine provision. God is my supply, and money comes to me easily, effortlessly, and under grace. Every bill is paid, every need is met, every desire is fulfilled in perfect ways. Pause, breathe, and feel it. Let the words settle into your chest like anchors of truth. Stress may knock at the door tomorrow, but your decree will answer. Doubt may whisper in the night, but your decree will silence it. Fear may try to paint shadows, but your decree will flood them with light. Beloved, decree is more than sound. It is a shift of ownership. When you say, God is my supply, you hand over the burden of provision to the source that never fails. You lay down the heavy yoke of self-reliance and take up the light yoke of faith. You step out of anxiety and into alignment, out of stress and into rest, out of fear and into certainty. And let us go further. Let us decree not only for this moment, but for every moment to come. Say with me, God is my supply in the morning when I rise. God is my supply in the day as I work. God is my supply in the night as I rest. God is my supply when bills arrive. God is my supply when opportunities appear. God is my supply in lean times and in times of plenty. God is my supply yesterday, today, and forevermore. Do you feel the power of repetition? Each line carves deeper grooves of truth into your mind. Each decree clears away the weeds of fear and plants seeds of faith. Soon, those seeds will sprout, and your life will overflow with visible proof of what your words have declared. Now, beloved, hear me clearly. The decree does not mean you will never face a bill, never see a challenge, never meet a moment of uncertainty. But it does mean that in every situation, you will stand unshaken. For your source is not the bill, your source is God. Your source is not the challenge, your source is God. Your source is not the shifting winds of circumstance. Your source is the unchanging fountain of spirit. So go forth with confidence. When others complain of shortage, let your lips declare, God is my supply. When the world trembles in fear of recession, Let your heart rest in abundance. When you feel the old reflex of worry rise, stop it at once with your decree. Do not wrestle with shadows. Shine the light of truth until they flee. Let us seal this message one final time. Say with me with authority and conviction, God is my supply. I am rich in faith, rich in peace, rich in provision. My supply is endless, my prosperity secure, my abundance flowing. I never stress about money, for I live under grace and in perfect ways. God is my supply now and forevermore, and so it is. Beloved, walk from this place in peace. Walk as one who is already provided for. Walk as one who has released stress, released fear, released lack. For the decree has gone forth, and it will not return void. Money is on its way. Supply is flowing now, and every step you take is surrounded by the truth that cannot be broken. God is your supply, and so
You know the feeling. It's that sense of running on a treadmill, pouring all of your energy, all of your hope into moving forward, only to look up and realize you are in the exact same spot. It's the same argument, just with a different partner, the same limiting number in your bank account at the end of the month, the same quiet, persistent ache of knowing deep in your bones that you were made for more than this. It can feel as though you are standing on one side of a wall of glass. You can see the life you desire on the other side, the ease, the love, the freedom, the wholeness. It feels so close you could almost touch it. But every time you take a step toward it, you walk straight into that invisible, unyielding barrier, leaving you feeling confused, frustrated, and heartbroken. What if I told you that this entire pattern, this invisible wall, this treadmill, is governed by one single unwavering law? And what if I told you that you are already a master of this law? You have just been using it unconsciously to create the very circumstances you are trying so hard to escape. This is where a unique kind of exhaustion sets in. It's not the satisfying tiredness that comes after a day of meaningful work. It's a soul-deep weariness, the exhaustion that comes not from a lack of effort, but from pouring all of your magnificent effort into things that don't truly move the needle. You've been doing everything right, haven't you? You hold the key in your hand. You've read the books, you've said the affirmations, you've done the meditations. You have polished this key with your intentions, charged it with your visualizations. You approach the door to that new life with a heart full of hope, and you turn the key. You feel the click of possibility, but the door remains locked. And in that moment, the old stories rush in to narrate the failure. See? It doesn't work for you. You're doing it wrong. You must be missing something. You're just not worthy of what's on the other side. Let me tell you a truth that can set you free, right here and now. You are not broken. You are not doing it wrong. The issue has never been with your effort or with the key itself. The great and liberating misunderstanding has been this. You have been trying with all your might to pick the lock of a door that was never locked to begin with. You have been trying to earn your way into a house that you already own. The breakthrough you have been praying for is not a new technique or a more powerful mantra. The breakthrough is a remembering so profound, so utterly simple, that it will not add a single thing to you. Instead, it will lovingly and irrevocably strip away everything that is not you, until only the luminous, powerful truth of your being remains. This truth is built on the one law we spoke of, a law as real and as practical as gravity. It is the silent, ever-present, and perfectly obedient force that has been meticulously shaping your entire existence. You have been using this law perfectly your entire life. Now, you will learn to use it consciously. Decades ago, a woman of profound and practical wisdom, a true cartographer of the invisible realms, named Florence Scovel Shinn, mapped this inner landscape with a breathtaking and revolutionary clarity. She was a spiritual pioneer who refused to shroud this timeless truth in complex, esoteric language. She presented it with the simple, unshakable conviction of one who has lived it. She taught that life is a game, and like any game, it is governed by rules. But these rules are not designed to limit you. They are the very architecture of your freedom, she taught, and I paraphrase her timeless wisdom. The invisible forces of life are ever working for you, but they are forever waiting for your clear and unwavering command. And where does this command come from? It is not given through your pleas to a distant god or your desperate, white-knuckled wanting. Your command, my dear, is given through your belief. Your belief is the most powerful, creative, and transformative force you possess. It is the divine, architectural pencil with which you draw the blueprint of your life. It is the sacred, creative ink with which you write the story of your days. It is this blueprint, this deeply held conviction, that you hand to the faithful, tireless, and profoundly literal servant of your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, this great and mysterious power within you, this unseen builder, this faithful gardener, does not question the blueprint. It does not judge it. It does not ask if you are sure or if you might prefer a different design. Its only function, its only sacred duty, is to take the plan you give it and work day and night, marshaling all the forces of the universe, aligning circumstances, people, and events to build the structure of your physical reality to perfectly, flawlessly match that blueprint. Most of us have been unconsciously handing our inner builder a blueprint that was not even our own. It is a tattered, worn-out drawing handed down from our parents, smudged with their fears. It is water-stained with the tears of our ancestors' struggles. It is designed for a small, safe, familiar life of just enough, of struggle, of not yet. And then we stand inside the house it has built for us. A house of constant striving, of near misses, of quiet desperation. And we wonder why we feel so trapped, so frustrated, so hemmed in. We blame the building materials of our circumstances. We blame the stormy weather of the economy. We blame the other people on the construction site of our lives. We blame a distant, withholding, or punishing universe. But the universe is only ever a perfect, flawless mirror. It does not create. It does not judge. It only and always reflects. It reflects back to us with impersonal, loving, and unerring precision the truth of what we believe to be true about ourselves and our world. The great and glorious shift we are embarking on together today is not about screaming at the reflection in the mirror to change. It is not about trying to paint a smile on the reflection while weeping on the inside. It is about changing the one who is being reflected. This journey is a homecoming. It is a gentle, yet absolutely radical, reclamation of the power that has always been yours, residing quietly in the sacred center of your being. It is a conscious, deliberate, and final decision to stop being the one who is waiting for life to happen to you, and to start being the one from whom life unfolds. It begins not with more doing, but with a new way of being. It begins not with a new action, but with a new identity. And this new identity, this quantum leap in consciousness, this homecoming to your own sovereign power, is unlocked with just two words that, when truly understood, felt, and embodied as your core reality, do not just change your perspective. They do not just alter your mood. They change the very fabric of your reality, from the inside out. But before we arrive at those two sacred catalytic words, we must first prepare the soil of your consciousness. For me to simply give them to you now would be like planting a precious, life-altering seed in unprepared, rocky, and weed-choked ground. Your mind, that clever and protective guardian of your current reality, would hear them, analyze them, debate them, and likely file them away as just another nice, but ultimately impractical, spiritual idea. But your soul, Your body, your very cells, would not receive them. And this is not a journey for the mind alone. The mind is a beautiful and necessary tool, but it cannot take you where we are going. This is a journey for your entire being. Let us begin by exploring the world you have built. Let us take a tender, loving, and courageous walk through the museum of your life. Not with judgment, not with shame, not with the harsh inner critic leading the tour, but with the gentle, compassionate curiosity of an archaeologist who knows that every artifact, every ruin, tells a profound story of the civilization that created it. Your life, as it stands today, is a perfect, living, three-dimensional museum of your past beliefs. Every room, every exhibit, every object on display is a physical manifestation of a conviction you have held, consciously or unconsciously, in the sacred temple of your heart. Let's walk together into the wing of your museum dedicated to abundance, to money, to your relationship with the infinite, creative, and loving substance of the universe that we call material supply. For so many of us, especially as women, this is a place of deep, complex, and often painful ancestral wounding. The belief system we inherited around money is rarely a clean, simple thing. It is a complex, knotted tapestry woven with the threads of our parents' anxieties, our grandparents' struggles, our culture's judgments, and our collective fears. The threads of fear, scarcity, guilt, and limitation are often so tightly interwoven that we don't even see them as individual beliefs anymore. They just feel like the way things are. Perhaps you were taught through direct words or more powerfully through the unspoken emotional atmosphere of your childhood that money is the root of all evil, that it is unspiritual to desire it, that good, humble people have little of it, that it is hard to come by and even harder to hold on to, that you must trade your precious, finite life force, your time, your joy, your very soul for it, that there is only a finite pie of resources in the world, and for you to have a bigger slice, someone else, someone more deserving, must have less. This belief system is not just a collection of fleeting ideas. It is a living energy. It is a potent, magnetic frequency. It is a living, breathing, and highly detailed architectural blueprint. When you hold the core belief buried deep in your subconscious, there is never enough, or its more insidious and socially acceptable cousin, there is just enough to get by, but never more than that. What happens in your daily life? Your faithful subconscious mind hears its unwavering command and goes to work immediately, like the most efficient project manager in the universe. Its first task is to create a powerful, customized filter over your perception. You begin to see, hear, and experience the entire world through the lens of lack. You open your mail and your eyes, as if guided by an invisible hand, immediately scan for and fixate on the bills, the demands, the outflows. You feel your body automatically tense. Your breath becomes shallow. Your throat tightens. The familiar cold knot of anxiety clenches in your solar plexus, a physical anchor to an invisible belief. This very physical reaction is a powerful reinforcement, a feedback loop that says, "See, you're right to be scared. The threat is real." You hear a story on the news about inflation or a struggling economy, and a wave of icy fear washes over you. It doesn't feel like information about the world. It feels like a personal prophecy, a confirmation of your deepest terror, because your inner world of belief recognizes it as your truth, your inevitable personal reality. Your subconscious then directs your actions and inactions with masterful, surgical precision. A brilliant, inspired, soul-aligned idea for a new business or a creative project drops into your mind in a moment of grace. It feels exciting, expansive, full of light. But almost immediately, the guard dog of your old belief system kicks in, barking a litany of fears. That's too risky. You could lose everything. Remember what happened last time? Who do you think you are to succeed when so many others fail? It's safer to stay small, to keep the job you know, even if it's draining your soul. And so you hesitate. You over-research. You procrastinate. You allow the divine, creative spark to fizzle out into a cloud of doubt. You find yourself in a negotiation for a salary at a new job or a fee for a project that you know you are perfectly qualified for. You know your value in a logical sense. A number comes to mind that feels expansive, right, and honorable. But the inherited blueprint whispers its toxic lies. They'll never pay that. You're being greedy. You're asking for too much. You should just be grateful to have an offer at all. And so you lower your number before you even speak it. You undervalue your sacred work, your God-given talents. You settle for less than you are worth. And in doing so, you create the very reality you feared. You prove your own limiting belief to be true, and the cycle continues. You finally manage, through sheer hard work and determination, to get a little bit ahead. A small surplus, a buffer, appears in your checking account. You feel a fleeting moment of relief, a breath of expansion. And then, like clockwork, the universe delivers a correction. The car transmission fails. The roof starts leaking. An unexpected medical bill arrives. Your subconscious, ever loyal to the blueprint of just enough to scrape by, has perfectly and ingeniously orchestrated an event to bring your outer reality back into perfect alignment with your dominant inner belief. The universe, in its perfect, impersonal, and profound love, simply mirrors this inner state. It doesn't punish you. It doesn't withhold from you. It simply, flawlessly matches your broadcast frequency. If your signal is lack, struggle, and anxiety, it can only deliver experiences that resonate with that signal. It is the unfailing, unchanging law. Now pause. Place a hand on your belly. Take a deep, cleansing, and restorative breath, and allow yourself, just for a moment, to imagine a different belief, to unroll a new, luminous blueprint. Imagine believing in every cell of your being that abundance is your divine birthright, that the universe is infinitely, extravagantly, and joyfully opulent, and you are its beloved child, inherently deserving of all its riches, both spiritual and material. Imagine knowing that money is simply energy, a beautiful, powerful current of divine circulation, and that you are a clear, open, and grateful channel for it to flow to you and through you, blessing everything it touches. Imagine a core conviction that you are divinely supplied, that every need is met with grace and surprising ease before you even have a chance to worry about it. Imagine feeling deep in your bones that your value is inherent and not tied to your productivity or your struggle. Imagine truly believing that your prosperity is not a selfish act, but a sacred one that blesses everyone around you and expands the good in the world. What would that feel like in your body, right in this very moment? Don't just think about it. Allow yourself to actually feel it. Perhaps your shoulders would relax and drop a full inch away from your ears. Your jaw would unclench. Your breath would deepen, filling your belly, a place where so much financial fear is held. When you thought of money, you wouldn't feel the cold, metallic grip of constriction, but the warm, radiant, golden sun of expansion. You would feel a sense of profound peace, of unshakable trust, of a quiet, settled, and deeply reassuring knowing. From this state of being, from this new pristine blueprint, your subconscious receives a new and glorious command. It joyfully gets to work, recalibrating your perceptual filters. You start noticing opportunities for growth, collaboration, and generosity that you were completely blind to just hours before. An idea for a new stream of income drops into your mind, and this time, the feeling that accompanies it is not fear, but an exhilarating, soul-tingling, creative excitement. You feel a calm, grounded, and regal confidence when discussing your rates or prices, speaking not from a place of needing to prove your worth, but from a place of simply quietly inhabiting it. You begin to act like someone who expects to be supported, who knows they are provided for, who trusts implicitly in the benevolent and intelligent flow of life. And the mirror of the universe, the great and loving echo of your inner state, it has no choice but to reflect this new and glorious truth back to you. An unexpected check arrives in the mail from a forgotten investment or a rebate you didn't know you were owed. A new client, your absolute ideal client, finds you as if by magic and insists on paying you in full, up front, expressing deep gratitude for your work. An opportunity to collaborate on a project that lights up your soul and also happens to be wildly profitable appears as if from nowhere. A long-standing debt is mysteriously, miraculously cleared or forgiven. Nothing in the external world changed. The laws of economics did not suddenly bend just for you. But you changed. Your internal point of attraction, your core belief, your fundamental energetic signature shifted. And so, your world, by divine and immutable law, had no choice but to change with you. Now let us walk together, hand in hand, with this same gentle compassion, into another wing of your museum, the room of love, of partnership, of sacred, intimate connection. This room, for so many of us, holds the most tender, the most vulnerable, and the most painful artifacts. It is where the deepest longings of the human heart are on display. How many of us, deep in the hidden, protected chambers of our hearts, carry a core blueprint that says, in one form or another, I am not truly worthy of deep, unconditional, consistent, and lasting love, or its many painful variations. I must perform, perfect myself, and contort my soul into a more pleasing, less difficult shape in order to be chosen and to be kept. Or, real love is a struggle, a constant compromise, a painful sacrifice of my own needs and desires. Or the most heartbreaking and self-sabotaging of all. No matter what, I will always be abandoned in the end, so I must protect myself at all costs. These are not just sad thoughts you have from time to time when you feel lonely. These are powerful, creative, and magnetic directives that have been meticulously shaping your romantic reality for years, perhaps for your entire adult life. When you believe, at your very core, that you must earn love, that it is not your inherent right, your subconscious, in its perfect and unwavering obedience, will guide you toward experiences that relentlessly validate this painful belief. You will find yourself magnetically and often inexplicably drawn to partners who are emotionally unavailable, who are inconsistent in their affection, who keep you in a state of perpetual uncertainty, who require you to prove your worth over and over again. You will find yourself cast in the familiar role of the giver, the fixer, the healer, the overfunctioner, the one who loves more, hoping against hope that one day your superhuman efforts will finally be enough to secure their unwavering devotion and make you feel safe. You will replay the same agonizing dynamic, the same heartbreaking loop of intense hope and crushing disappointment, with different faces and different names, because the underlying blueprint, the core belief about your own intrinsic lovability, remains devastatingly unchanged. You will stand in front of the mirror of your relationship, pointing a finger at the reflection and crying out, "Why are you like this? Why won't you see me for who I am? Why won't you choose me fully and finally?" Not realizing the reflection is only ever showing you the parts of yourself that have not yet fully chosen you, the parts of you that do not yet fully see your own magnificent worth, the parts of you that are still waiting for external validation to feel lovable. The pattern of chasing, of fixing, of proving, of auditioning for a love that should be freely given is originating within you. Now let's pause. Let's place a gentle, loving hand directly over your heart. Feel its steady beat, and let's breathe into a different possibility, a new belief, a new luminous and sacred blueprint for love. I am whole, complete, and radiant with love within myself. Love is not something I get, it is something I am. It is my natural state of being. I am a powerful and serene magnet for the love that is a perfect vibrational match for my own soul's evolution and deepest joy. Divine love has already found the perfect and most beautiful expression for me, and I now allow it to manifest in my life with grace and perfect timing. Imagine holding this belief not as an affirmation you are desperately trying to convince yourself of through gritted teeth, but as a simple, foundational, and self-evident truth, as certain and as natural as the rising of the sun. What would shift inside of you? Your entire energetic signature, your very presence in the world, would transform. The faint, almost imperceptible scent of desperation, of neediness, of seeking, of a subtle energetic leaning forward would be replaced by the quiet, intoxicating, and deeply calming perfume of wholeness. You would no longer be scanning every room, every dating app, every social gathering for someone to fill a void within you. Instead, you would be radiating a sense of completeness that is profoundly, irresistibly attractive to those who are also whole and are seeking a partner, not a project. You would make different choices. You would say a swift, clear, and compassionate no to connections that feel like a project, a compromise, or a haunting replay of an old, painful story. You would radiate a self-possession, a self-love, and a quiet joy in your own company that is magnetically compelling. Your subconscious, holding this new, pristine, and powerful blueprint, would begin to rearrange your reality with a divine intelligence that your conscious mind could never orchestrate. The people, the dynamics, the situations that are not a match for this frequency would naturally, gently, and without drama, fall away. The person who resonates with your wholeness, who is looking not for someone to rescue, but for someone to co-create with, would be drawn into your orbit, not through your striving, your planning, or your manipulation, but through the simple, beautiful, immutable law of resonance. Do you feel the power you hold? Do you see, with a new and breathtaking clarity, what has been happening? You have been the architect all along. You have been the master builder, the creator, the divine source of every single experience in your life. The lack, the struggle, the heartbreak, the frustration, these were not punishments from a cruel universe. They were not evidence of your unworthiness. They were not random misfortunes. They were masterpieces of creation, born from a deeply held, powerful, though likely unconscious belief. This realization should not bring you a single ounce of shame or self-blame. It should bring you a tidal wave of profound, earth-shaking, and glorious liberation. It means you are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. You are not a victim of circumstance, a fragile cork tossed on the merciless, chaotic ocean of life. You are powerful, unimaginably, breathtakingly, divinely powerful. You have simply and innocently been pointing your infinite creative power in the direction of what you do not want. The moment you truly, deeply, and cellularly realize this, the moment you become aware of your own innate, God-given creative capacity, is the moment you reclaim your throne. It is the moment you stop being a passive, frightened passenger in the vehicle of your life and take the steering wheel firmly, lovingly, and consciously into your own capable hands. This is the ultimate empowerment that comes with awareness. You are not learning a new skill. You are remembering an ancient, innate one that has been dormant within you. You are not becoming a creator. You are remembering, with a flood of relief and awe, that you have never, for one single second of your existence, been anything else. Every doubt you have ever harbored, every fear that has ever paralyzed you into inaction has manifested in your life with the same exquisite precision and unshakable power as every joy you have ever experienced, every moment of grace you have ever received. The law works perfectly, impartially, always. It does not distinguish between good and bad beliefs, any more than the fertile soil of the earth distinguishes between a seed for a fragrant rose and a seed for a painful thistle. The soil is pure, impartial potential. It will grow whatever seed you plant within it. You have been planting seeds of weeds and thorns in the sacred garden of your mind. Seeds you did not even know you were holding. Seeds passed down to you by others, and then weeping in frustration and confusion when a garden of fragrant, magnificent roses has not bloomed. Today, right now, in this holy moment, we learn to choose our seeds consciously. We learn to become deliberate, joyful, and sovereign gardeners of the soul. We learn to tend the soil of our minds with love, to plant with intention, and to trust in the inevitable bountiful harvest. This knowing brings us to the very heart of our practice. The practice is not one of complexity, of rigid rules, or of strenuous effort. The path to mastery is always a return to an elegant, profound simplicity. It is a threefold path of sacred becoming, a gentle, rhythmic dance of recognition, declaration, and embodiment that, when practiced with loving consistency, will fundamentally transform the very fabric of your life. The first step, the gentle dawn of all true change, is recognition. This is the practice of compassionate, non-judgmental awareness. It is the sacred act of turning your loving gaze inward. You cannot change a belief you do not know you have. You cannot pull a weed you cannot see. For years, you have been living under the hypnotic spell of your unconscious programming, believing its whispers were your own voice, its limitations were the boundaries of reality itself. Recognition is the moment you begin to awaken from this trance. This is not an exercise in self-flagellation. It is an act of profound self-compassion. For the rest of today, and for all the days that follow, I invite you to become a loving witness to the inner workings of your own mind and body. The key words here are loving and witness. You are not a detective looking for evidence to condemn yourself. You are not a harsh judge presiding over a courtroom of your past mistakes. You are an archaeologist of your own soul, tenderly and curiously brushing the dust off ancient patterns, understanding that each one was created for a reason, likely as a form of protection at some point in your past. When a bill arrives in the mail, and that familiar cold, metallic knot of fear tightens in the pit of your stomach, I invite you to pause. Before you react, before you spin into the story of, how will I pay for this? Simply place a hand on that part of your body. Breathe into it, and say to yourself, with the infinite gentleness you would offer a frightened child, "Ah, there you are. I see you. That is the feeling of the belief that there isn't enough. I recognize you. I feel you in my stomach. It's okay. I am just observing you now. You do not have to fight it. You do not have to wrestle it to the ground or shame it for being there. You simply shine the warm, accepting light of your conscious awareness upon it. When you are scrolling through social media, a seemingly benign act, and you see an announcement of a friend's engagement, a new baby, or a business success, and that sharp, familiar pang of loneliness, of envy, of feeling left behind arises in your chest, I invite you to pause. Before you close the app in a huff or numb yourself with more scrolling, simply close your eyes for a second. Breathe. There it is. That is the feeling of the belief that love is outside of me, that success is for others, that I am lacking, that my time has passed. I see you. I feel you as an ache in my heart. I am just witnessing you with love. When a potential partner you've been excited about suddenly becomes distant or sends a mixed signal, and you feel that immediate, terrifying cascade of anxiety, that urge to fix it, to analyze their every word, to contort yourself into a more pleasing shape, pause, breathe. I recognize this pattern. This is the activation of the belief that I am not worthy of consistent love, that I must earn it, that I am about to be abandoned. I feel this panic in my throat and in my hands. I am here with it. I am not running from it. This simple, repeated act of recognition is profoundly, miraculously powerful. A belief that operates in the darkness and shadows of the unconscious mind has absolute, tyrannical power over you. It runs your life from the control room of your nervous system, pulling the levers of your emotions and dictating your reactions before you even have a chance to think. But a belief that is brought into the light of conscious, loving awareness begins to lose its hypnotic grip. It can no longer pretend to be you. You begin to see it for what it is: an old, inherited, and often outdated program that has been running on autopilot. And any program, my dear, can be lovingly, deliberately, and permanently changed. Think of it like this: you cannot remove a weed in the pitch-black darkness of night. You would stumble, you might pull up a precious flower by mistake, and you would likely miss the weed entirely. You must first turn on the light in the garden to see the weed clearly for what it is, separate from the flowers, separate from the soil. Recognition is switching on the gentle, loving lamp in the sacred garden of your mind. You practice this not for an hour a day, but as a continuous, gentle orientation. You become a student of your own inner landscape, mapping the terrain of your feelings and tracing them back to the beliefs that gave them birth. This, in and of itself, is a revolutionary act of self-love and reclamation. The second step, the sacred act of planting a new and more beautiful reality, is declaration. Once you have recognized the old belief, the old weed, the temptation is to fight with it, to get down in the dirt and start hacking at its roots, analyzing where it came from, blaming the person who planted it there, cursing its very existence. This is a waste of your precious creative life force energy. What you resist persists. What you fight, you strengthen. A more graceful, powerful, and effective way is to gently, lovingly, and firmly replace it. This is where you consciously and deliberately plant a new seed in the exact spot where the weed once grew. This is the power of your spoken word, your sacred decree. As the great Florence Scovel Shinn taught so beautifully, your word is your wand. When you speak a word with feeling and conviction, you send a potent, creative vibration out into the universe, and that vibration must, by the immutable law of creation, return to you as a manifested experience. Your words are not empty sounds. They are living things. They are commands. They are the seeds of your future. So, when you have recognized the feeling and the thought pattern of lack, you do not deny it or suppress it. You acknowledge its presence, and then you declare your new, higher truth over it. You speak it aloud, if possible. Let the very vibration of the words travel through the water in your cells, recalibrating your entire being to a new frequency. With quiet, calm, and unshakable conviction, you might declare, I see and acknowledge this old, inherited pattern of belief in lack and limitation. And now I dissolve it in the light of this new truth. I now plant the seed of divine, infinite, and ever-present abundance. I am a child of a rich, loving, and infinitely generous universe, and my every need is met with grace, surprising ease, and perfect timing. I am open and receptive to my good. When you recognize the familiar, painful feeling of loneliness or unworthiness in love, you breathe, you acknowledge, and then you declare, I release, with love and gratitude for the lessons it taught me, this painful pattern of seeking love and validation outside of myself. I now declare a new reality. I am a radiant, magnetic center of divine love. I am whole, complete, and magnificent just as I am. I am now drawing to myself the divine partnership that is mine by divine right, a love that mirrors, celebrates, and honors my own wholeness. These are not empty, hopeful, wishy-washy affirmations. They are commands. They are sovereign decrees issued from the throne of your own consciousness. They are the new, luminous, architectural blueprints you are handing to your faithful and eager subconscious builder. Now, be prepared. At first, your conscious mind, the loyal and protective guardian of your old familiar identity, will likely stage a rebellion. It will present a mountain of evidence to the contrary. It may scream with the voice of panicked reason. That's a lie. That's not true. Look at your bank account. Look at your empty bed. Look at your past failures. You are just fooling yourself. This is dangerous nonsense. Your job is not to enter into a ferocious debate with your own mind. You will never win that argument because the mind's job is to believe what it sees. Your job is to access a deeper wisdom. You are the queen of your inner kingdom. You do not argue with a dissenting courtier. You simply, calmly, and regally restate your royal decree. You can say to that frightened part of your mind, "Thank you for your concern. I appreciate you trying to protect me. But I have made a new decision. This is the new law of my land. My word is law." And so it is. You are speaking not to your present circumstances, but from the end result, from your desired reality. You are standing in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and declaring it as a present fact reality. You are planting the new seed over and over and over with the gentle, unshakable persistence of falling rain that eventually, inevitably, softens and penetrates the hardest, most sun-baked ground. Here are 2 more affirmations, in the powerful and direct spirit of Florence, that you can use to water your new seeds daily. The heavy, leaden walls of lack and delay now crumble away into dust before my very eyes, and I now walk forward, unimpeded, into my promised land of abundance, joy, and true love, under grace and in a perfect, miraculous way. I am now divinely and irresistibly guided to my perfect place, my perfect work, and my perfect people. My world is now a flawless, breathtaking reflection of divine order, harmony, beauty, and ever-expanding good. The third and most crucial step, the one that breathes life, fire, and magic into the entire sacred process, is embodiment. This is the step that most people miss, and it is the alchemical secret that makes all the difference in the world. A declaration held only in the thinking mind is a seed left on top of the hard, dry soil, exposed to the elements. It will not, cannot take root. For the seed of your new reality to germinate, to split open and send its roots deep into the creative substance of the universe, it must be planted in the rich, fertile, moist, and life-giving soil of feeling. You must feel the truth of your new reality now, before you have a single shred of external evidence for it. This is not about pretending. It is not a desperate, strained, and inauthentic attempt at faking it until you make it. It is the sacred and powerful art of consciously accessing the frequency, the actual energetic signature of your desire before it has physically manifested. It is remembering the great spiritual law that the feeling is the prayer, the feeling is the magnet, the feeling is the precursor to the form. You must first generate the feeling state of the reality you desire, and then and only then can that reality take form around you. This is not just a mental exercise, it is a neurological one. You are carving new neural pathways of having, of safety, of worthiness. You are teaching your body, on a cellular level, the feeling of its new home. So after you make your powerful declaration, close your eyes. Do not try to visualize the how. The how is the domain of infinite intelligence, and it is infinitely more clever and creative than your conscious mind could ever be. Getting caught up in the details of when, where, and through whom your good will come is the fastest and surest way to introduce doubt, resistance, and constriction. Your job is not the how, your job is the what, and more importantly, the what it feels like. Simply tune your awareness into the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. What does the feeling of complete, unshakable financial security and glorious freedom actually feel like in the cells of your body? Is it a warmth spreading through your chest and down your arms? Is it a profound and total relaxation in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders? Is it a sense of expansive, blissful peace, a quiet, settled hum of well-being that has nothing to do with a number on a screen, but everything to do with a deep, cellular trust in life. Breathe into that exact feeling. Allow it to fill every cell, every molecule of your being. Wear that feeling like a beautiful, invisible cashmere garment for the rest of your day. Move through your world from within that feeling. What does the feeling of being deeply, unconditionally, and safely loved, cherished, and adored feel like in your body? Is it a sense of profound safety and belonging, like a warm blanket around your soul? Is it a feeling of being profoundly seen, heard, and celebrated for exactly who you are, with all your quirks and shadows? Is it a quiet, bubbling, radiant joy that emanates from your heart center without cause or condition? Inhabit that feeling now. You do not need another person to be physically present in the room to generate this feeling within yourself. It is an aspect of your own divine nature, your own infinite capacity to be and to feel love. It is your essence. This is the real work. This is the sacred practice. Not for a mere hour a day during your scheduled meditation or journaling time, but as a continuous, moment-to-moment way of being. To recognize the old, declare the new, and then most importantly, to embody the feeling of it being already gloriously, completely, and divinely done. As you begin this powerful practice, as you commit to this deep and profound inner repatterning, something important and often startling will happen. It may at first feel deeply uncomfortable. It may even feel terrifying. The space between letting go of an old, familiar, and strangely comfortable belief system and fully embodying a new, expansive one can feel chaotic. It can feel like you are standing on shifting ground, like the world as you have always known it is dissolving into mist beneath your feet. Please, hear me when I say this. This is not a sign that it isn't working. It is the most powerful and encouraging sign that it is. Imagine you have lived your entire life in a small, cramped, and windowless room. It's not ideal. It's dark. It's confining. It smells a bit musty, but it's familiar. You know every crack in the wall, every creak in the floorboards. It is the known, safe, and predictable container of your identity. You know the rules of the small room. Now you have made the courageous decision to move into a spacious, light-filled, magnificent mansion with vast, fragrant gardens and endless, breathtaking views. As the solid walls of the old cramped room begin to dissolve, as they become translucent and then disappear, there will inevitably be a period of profound and unsettling disorientation. The familiar landmarks that defined your reality are gone. You might feel a strange sense of loss, a nostalgic ache for the familiar misery. You might feel a moment of sheer, unadulterated panic, an agoraphobia of the soul. The ego, that part of you that identifies with the old story of struggle and limitation, will scream with all of its might, with the urgency of a fire alarm. Go back to the small room. It was safer there. At least we knew the rules of the struggle. At least the disappointment was predictable. We don't know what's out here in this vast, open, unpredictable space. We could get hurt. This discomfort is the sacred friction of transformation. It is the necessary and holy fire of alchemy. It is the undeniable evidence that the caterpillar is dissolving into a nutrient-rich, primordial soup inside the chrysalis. A process that must look and feel like death before it can become resurrection. It is the old self dying to make way for the birth of the new, true self. Do not run from this feeling. Do not distract yourself from it with busyness or numbing behaviors. Breathe into it. Welcome it as a holy messenger. It is the undeniable evidence that the sacred fire is working its magic, turning the heavy, dense lead of your old limitations into the radiant, priceless gold of your authentic, divine self. The outer world may not change overnight. You have planted the new seed, but it needs time to germinate in the darkness, to gather its strength beneath the surface before its first tender green shoot has the power to break through the hard-packed soil of your old reality. During this sacred waiting period, this holy gestation, your faith is the water and the sun. This is when you must stand firm, with the quiet dignity of a queen, in your new identity, in your new feeling state, regardless of what the lagging mirror of your current reality is reflecting back at you. You may find for a time that things even seem to get worse. This is a common and powerful sign of an imminent breakthrough. It is the old reality having a final temper tantrum, testing your resolve, asking you, "Are you sure? Are you really, truly sure you want to leave me behind?" You must trust the unseen process. You must know, with a conviction that transcends logic and defies all appearances, that the most important and powerful work is happening in the invisible first. You are changing the very composition of the soil of your mind, and therefore the harvest is divinely, mathematically, and gloriously inevitable. You have flipped a switch on the inside, in the control room of your consciousness, and the light in the outer room of your life may take a moment to flicker and buzz as the old wiring gives way, but it will come on. The law is immutable, impersonal, and perfect in its operation. This brings us, finally, to the very heart of the matter, the final release, the ultimate, liberating truth that collapses the entire painful, exhausting human game of waiting, wanting, wishing, and striving. You are standing at this threshold, ready for this profound change, not because you are broken or lacking or in need of some cosmic fixing. You do not need to become more worthy, more spiritual, more disciplined, or more deserving to earn the life you desire. You were born infinitely worthy in the eyes of the divine. Your worth is not in question. You are here, in this moment, reading these words, simply to remember who you have always been, beneath it all. The version of you who is effortlessly abundant, who is cherished and adored, who is radiantly healthy and creatively fulfilled, is not some future tense, idealized personality you are trying to build from scratch through sheer effort. It is your original nature. It is your divine blueprint. It is the unshakable truth of you that has been patiently, lovingly waiting beneath the heavy layers of societal conditioning, the false identities you adopted to survive your childhood, and the inherited limiting beliefs of your ancestors. The journey is not one of strained, desperate creation, but of graceful, joyful, and liberating reclamation. And the two words that unlock this reclamation, that serve as the master key to this new and glorious state of being, are a declaration of this timeless foundational truth. They are not a request. They are not a hope. They are a statement of fact from a higher dimension of reality, spoken into this one to make it so. Are you ready to receive them? To let them land in the very center of your being, like a stone dropping into a still pool of water, sending ripples of truth out to every cell? Breathe in, deeply. Fill your lungs with the air of this present, powerful, creative moment. And as you breathe out, say these words aloud. Let them be a vow. Let them be a prayer. Let them be a command. Let them land not in the crowded, noisy corridors of your mind, but in the sacred, silent, knowing chamber of your heart. It's already mine. Again. Slower this time. Feel the undeniable vibration of them in your throat, in your chest, in your bones. It's already mine. Let that profound and simple truth wash over you. Let it dissolve every last vestige of resistance. Let it soothe the striving, anxious part of you that has worked so hard for so long. The abundance you seek? It's already yours. It exists in its infinite, glorious totality in the invisible storehouse of the universe, awaiting only your conscious feeling claim. The devoted, beautiful, safe love you desire. It's already yours. It is the very fabric of your being, seeking its perfect, harmonious reflection in the outer world. The unshakable peace and well-being you long for? It's already yours. It is the eternal, silent, and ever-present center of your soul. This is not an affirmation designed to convince a skeptical part of yourself. This is a recognition of what is already and has always been true in the realm of spirit, in the quantum field where all potentials exist simultaneously in this eternal creative moment of now. When you declare, with the quiet, unshakable authority of your soul, "It's already mine," you collapse time. You stop projecting your good, your joy, your peace into a perpetually receding future, and you pull it into your present moment through the powerful, magnetic portal of your own consciousness. You shift, finally and forever, from the painful, draining, and repulsive frequency of wanting, which by law can only ever create more experiences of wanting, to the peaceful, magnetic, and receptive frequency of having. Your mind, the faithful servant of the old regime, will stage one last, desperate protest. The old identity will rise up and scream with all its accumulated evidence, "But I don't see it. My 5 senses, my bank account, my current relationship status, my entire life history tell me a completely different and more realistic story." And you will smile gently at that old, frightened, and well-meaning voice. And you will say with the calm, loving, and final authority of a queen who has reclaimed her throne, "My 5 senses can only report on the past. They are excellent historians, showing me the perfect manifestation of my old beliefs. But my belief, my word, my feeling state is a prophet. It creates the future. I choose to stand in the higher reality that transcends appearances. It's already mine, and I will stand here until the world of appearances conforms to my decree." This is the final choice, the ultimate act of faith. Will you continue to believe the lagging historical report of your 5 senses? Or will you choose, right now, to believe the eternal, present tense report of your soul, your inner knowing, which whispers the timeless truth of what is already yours by divine right and sacred inheritance? You are not broken. You are remembering. You are not lacking. You are expanding. You are not waiting. You are becoming. And in your becoming, you are simply returning to the magnificent truth of who you have always been. This is your moment of reclamation. This is your crossing of the sacred threshold. The door was not locked. It was never locked. It simply and always opens inward. And so, I invite you now to make this your sacred silent vow, to walk through the rest of this day, this week, this precious life, from this new, unshakable, and peaceful center of gravity. Move as the one for whom it is already done. Speak as the one who knows her supply is infinite and her words are creative magic. Love as the one who is already whole, complete, and adored. Leave a comment below and seal this new, sacred agreement with the universe and with the deepest part of your own soul. Write, with the conviction of this holy moment fresh in your heart, "I am ready to lead my subconscious." Let this be your declaration, your powerful, uncrossable line in the sand. The moment you stopped looking for the key and remembered, with a flood of relieved laughter, that you were and always have been the door. And now, the only question that truly matters, the question that will shape the rest of your magnificent and unfolding life, is this. Knowing that it's all already yours, who do you choose to be right now in this holy, creative, and brand new moment?
Money is not a thing to be chased, nor a treasure to be hoarded. It is a divine idea, an eternal current that flows without beginning or end. The supply of money is as boundless as the air we breathe, as ceaseless as the tide that rushes to the shore. When one stands in alignment with the infinite, money reveals itself not as pieces of paper, but as a symbol of God's inexhaustible abundance. To ask, "How can I have unlimited money?" is to ask, How can I tune my life to the frequency of the infinite? For in truth, there is no limitation except that which the mind has built. Every thought of lack is a wall that shuts out the radiant supply, and every thought of abundance is a key that swings the gates wide open. Money comes not through struggle, worry, or striving, but through recognition. The soul must know that it is already heir to all riches, already standing in the kingdom where there is no scarcity. To declare, "I am one with infinite supply," is to call forth rivers of prosperity from unseen sources. The world of form rearranges itself when the inner word is spoken with faith. Unlimited money cannot be gained by fear or greed, for these are shadows that dissolve in the light. Unlimited money appears when one sees money not as master, but as servant. It is obedient to the law of consciousness. Whatever the mind accepts deeply, life reflects unfailingly. If the mind accepts limitation, poverty appears. If the mind accepts plenty, money flows in streams from expected and unexpected avenues. The question is not, where will it come from? The question is, do I believe? For when belief is anchored in divine order, the channels open effortlessly. Money may come as opportunities, as gifts, as new ideas, as sudden favor, as doors swinging open where there were once only walls. The source is invisible, but the supply is visible. The origin is infinite, but the manifestation is exact. To live in the consciousness of unlimited money is to release resentment, envy, and doubt. One must bless the wealth of others, knowing it is proof of the same law at work. What is done for one is done for all. When you see another prosper, it is the universe saying, "Look, this too is possible for you." Every word spoken is a seed, and every belief held is a blueprint. Speak lack, and you bind yourself. Speak abundance, and you free yourself. Say with conviction, "There is no limit to my supply. Money comes to me in perfect ways. I give freely and fearlessly, and in return I receive without measure." In that affirmation lies the secret. Money is not made. It is magnetized. It is not earned. It is expressed. The great truth is this: unlimited money is already yours. It waits at the threshold of your faith, eager to enter when you swing the door wide with fearless expectation. Money is a divine idea, not a material struggle. To the ordinary mind, money appears as coins, notes, figures in a ledger, or numbers glowing on a screen. Yet these are but shadows, outer garments worn by an eternal principle. The true essence of money is invisible, a current of divine supply that cannot be measured by human arithmetic. When one sees only the form, one is caught in the illusion of struggle, of grasping and holding, of fearing loss. But when the veil is lifted, it is revealed that money is an idea in the universal mind, inexhaustible, ever present, and waiting only for recognition. The struggle dissolves the moment this truth is understood, for struggle belongs to the world of separation, while divine ideas flow effortlessly from source to expression. When you view money as material, you enter a battlefield. The thought of competition rises, fear of scarcity takes root, envy grows, and greed attempts to hoard what it believes is limited. This is the great deception of the material view. It makes money appear as though it can only be gained through toil, worry, or even dishonesty. Yet the divine idea knows nothing of scarcity. It is infinite, just as light is infinite, just as air surrounds all, just as the ocean cannot be emptied by the filling of a single cup. The divine nature of money makes it beyond loss or depletion. There is no struggle in light shining, nor in rivers flowing, nor in trees bearing fruit. So it is with money when seen as divine supply. It flows because flow is its nature. To live in alignment with this idea, one must shift the thought from, "I must earn, I must grasp, I must protect," to, "I allow, I trust, I receive." Money as a divine idea answers faith, not effort. That does not mean one does nothing, but rather that action springs from inspiration instead of fear. The inspired act carries the stamp of success, for it is moved by the law of abundance. Fearful action, on the other hand, closes channels and tightens the grip around supply, as though money could be possessed rather than expressed. Divine ideas are never possessed, they are lived. When you speak of money as divine, you step into the field of grace. Grace is the effortless operation of divine law. The farmer does not make the seed grow by anxious watching, nor does the gardener force the rose to bloom by pulling at its petals. Growth is inherent, bloom is certain. Supply is inevitable when conditions are aligned, so too with money. When the soil of thought is cleared of weeds of fear and watered with the words of truth, the harvest must appear. Struggle is the refusal to trust the invisible, while recognition of the divine idea is the surrender that invites the inevitable. This recognition transforms the way one interacts with money. Instead of clinging, one gives. Instead of fearing loss, one blesses what is spent. Instead of doubting the flow, one declares its continuity. For if money is divine, then it cannot run dry. The fountain may shift its channel, but the spring does not cease to pour forth. To believe money is material is to place faith in the cup, which may be broken, emptied, or lost. To believe money is divine is to place faith in the fountain, which forever renews and fills whatever vessel is at hand. Every thought held about money reveals whether you see it as material struggle or divine idea. A thought of limitation says, I must hold tight, for there is not enough. A thought of abundance says, I give freely, for the source is endless. A thought of fear says, what if it leaves me? A thought of truth says, it flows unceasingly, for it is infinite. The one who believes money is divine never begs, never worries, never envies, for they know that what belongs to them by divine right cannot be withheld. The one who sees money as material lives in anxiety, chasing shadows, fearing tomorrow, and grasping at passing forms. It is said that ideas rule the world, and indeed they do. The idea you hold about money determines the reality you live with it. If the idea is struggle, then struggle appears. If the idea is flow, then flow appears. The universe mirrors consciousness unfailingly. To declare money as divine is to open the door to channels unseen, to attract opportunities, gifts, and resources without strain. Money comes in perfect ways when seen as divine, because divine ideas always fulfill themselves with precision. The invisible law arranges people, circumstances, and events to bring forth supply, as surely as the earth brings forth a harvest in season. When you see money as divine, gratitude takes the place of worry. Gratitude is the recognition that supply already exists, that the universe has already answered, that the need is already met. This recognition calls forth more, for the law is clear: what you praise, you raise. To complain of lack is to multiply lack. To give thanks for abundance is to multiply abundance. Gratitude sees beyond appearances and anchors itself in the truth that money is not material. It is spiritual. It is not something to fight for, but something to align with. It is not earned by sweat alone, but attracted by consciousness. In this understanding, the act of giving and receiving becomes sacred. Giving is not loss but multiplication. Every gift sent forth in faith returns increased, because it is rooted in the recognition that money is a divine idea and therefore circulates endlessly. The miser who clings sees only material money and fears its departure. The one who gives freely sees divine money and trusts its return. Just as the ocean never loses by sending a wave to the shore, so the giver never loses by sending money forth. It is a wave that must return, often larger than before, for such is the rhythm of divine law. The moment you cease to struggle, the moment you cease to chase, the moment you let go of the belief that money is limited, you step into freedom. Freedom is the natural state of divine ideas. Freedom is the knowing that no circumstance, no person, no system can block what is yours by right of consciousness. Money does not come from a boss, a business, or a bank account. These are channels, but not the source. The source is infinite, unseen, unfailing. To confuse channel with source is to live in bondage. To know the source is to live in peace. Lack is only a belief, abundance is a recognition. To the eye that sees through appearances, lack seems real. It appears in empty purses, in unpaid bills, in the gnawing thought of not enough. Yet this vision is not truth, but a shadow cast by belief. Lack has no substance of its own. It is a condition of the mind reflected in the outer world. The moment one believes in limitation, the outer life obeys and presents limitation in form. The moment one recognizes abundance, the outer life shifts and reveals abundance in form. The world of matter is a mirror, and the mirror reflects the image held within. Every experience of lack begins as a thought. A child is not born believing in poverty. A child trusts that food will appear, that warmth will be provided, that life will unfold. Beliefs of lack are learned through fear, through repetition of the words of those who themselves lived in limitation. These beliefs become laws within the subconscious, and the outer world acts them out faithfully. Yet no belief is permanent, and no belief is truth unless we continue to give it power. Lack is a mask worn by the mind. When the mask is removed, abundance stands revealed. Abundance is not something created, for it already exists. Everywhere in nature, the principle of plenty is displayed. The earth produces more seeds than can be planted. The ocean holds more drops than can be counted. The stars spread farther than vision can reach. Scarcity does not exist in divine design. It is a construct of human fear. Recognition of abundance is not wishful thinking but awakening to reality. It is the realization that supply is infinite, that channels are many, and that what is required is always already present in some form. To believe in lack is to close the eyes to what is near. It is to declare, "There is nothing," even while standing in a field full of opportunity. To recognize abundance is to open the eyes and say, "All that I need is here, though it may yet be unseen." Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Recognition is the act of faith that transforms shadow into substance. Words carry power, for they are the carriers of belief. When one speaks lack, one calls lack into form. When one declares abundance, one summons abundance. To say, "I cannot afford," is to tie the hands of supply. To say, "Everything I need is provided," is to swing wide the door to provision. The law of life is unfailing. What is recognized inwardly appears outwardly. Lack is not fought with struggle, it is dissolved by recognition. Consider how two people may face the same situation. One sees limitation, speaks of hardship, worries about tomorrow, and remains bound by lack. Another sees possibility, speaks words of faith, trusts in unseen supply, and finds ways open that others did not see. The difference lies not in the circumstance but in the belief. The same soil can grow weeds or flowers, depending on what seed is planted. The mind is the soil, belief is the seed. Lack is the harvest of fear, abundance is the harvest of trust. The practice of recognition begins with thought. To recognize abundance is to deliberately turn away from appearances of limitation and affirm the truth of plenty. When bills arrive, one can either sigh with dread or declare, "These are opportunities for supply to appear." When money seems scarce, one can either shrink in fear or affirm, "The universe is rich and provides in perfect ways." Recognition does not deny appearances, it reinterprets them, it insists on truth beyond shadow. Belief in lack often hides beneath habits of worry, envy, and doubt. Worry is the rehearsal of limitation. Envy is the declaration that supply is limited and that another's gain is your loss. Doubt is the refusal to trust the source of abundance. Each of these can be released when one understands that abundance is not stolen, not scarce, not fragile. The supply of life is infinite, and each person has their own channel through which it flows. Recognition of abundance in another's life strengthens your own, for it affirms the law at work universally. Abundance is recognized not only in money, but in every area of life. The smile of a stranger, the beauty of a flower, the warmth of the sun, the friendship that appears in time of need, all are signs of the abundant nature of the universe. When one trains the eye to see abundance in small things, it becomes natural to expect it in larger things. The habit of recognition creates the atmosphere in which supply flows easily. Lack cannot survive in the presence of consistent recognition, for the mind that sees abundance refuses to accept poverty as real. There is a deep peace in realizing that lack is only a belief. It means that no matter what the outer condition may be, it has no true power. Conditions shift when beliefs shift. If lack were reality, no change would be possible. Because it is belief, transformation is always possible. A new recognition can alter a lifetime of limitation. The moment one truly sees abundance as reality, life begins to reorganize itself to reflect that truth. Opportunities appear, doors open, ideas flow. Help arrives, resources gather, and what once seemed impossible becomes natural. This is why it is said that prosperity begins in consciousness. Outer wealth without inner recognition is fragile, for the belief in lack will eventually dissolve it. But inner recognition of abundance creates wealth that endures, for it is rooted in the eternal. To live in recognition is to walk in freedom, to give without fear, to receive without guilt, to trust without doubt. It is to know that the source is infinite and the supply is unending. Money flows when aligned with faith, not fear. Faith is the substance that gives form to invisible supply, the unseen conviction that the universe is abundant and responsive. Fear, on the other hand, is the denial of this truth, the anxious insistence that provision may fail, that scarcity might be stronger than abundance. When one aligns with faith, money appears in perfect ways, drawn as surely as a magnet draws iron. When one aligns with fear, money slips away, blocked by the very thought that seeks to cling to it. The invisible law is exact: what you trust, you attract; what you dread, you invite; what you believe, you live. Faith is not hope, nor is it mere wishing. Faith is certainty in the unseen, confidence in the unseen source. Assurance that supply is already prepared though it has not yet been revealed. It is the knowing that every need carries its own provision, that no desire of the heart is planted without the means for its fulfillment. To walk in faith is to stand as if abundance were already visible, to speak words of gratitude before the gift has arrived, to act with confidence in the invisible order. Fear waits for proof before it trusts, but faith provides the proof by trusting. Money flows to the consciousness that expects it. Expectation is the language of faith. To expect lack is to prepare for it, to build doors for its entrance, to call it into being. To expect abundance is to prepare the way for it, to make room for its arrival, to invite it joyfully. The one who lives in faith spends with peace, gives with gladness, saves without fear, and speaks with assurance. The one who lives in fear hoards, hesitates, doubts, and complains, and by so doing shuts off the current of flow. Fear contracts, faith expands. Fear freezes, faith releases. Fear binds the stream, faith opens the floodgates. Money is not a master, it is a servant. It is not a tyrant to be appeased, but a current to be guided. Faith directs the current, for it acknowledges the source as divine and infinite. Fear misuses the current, for it forgets the source and sees only limitation. When money is seen through fear, it becomes heavy, elusive, and scarce. When money is seen through faith, it becomes light, responsive, and abundant. It is the same energy, yet the channel it takes is determined by belief. Faith declares, I am supplied in perfect ways, now and always. Fear whispers, what if it never comes? Faith affirms, every bill is already paid, every need already met. Fear insists, I will not have enough. Faith says, opportunities are unfolding for me, seen and unseen. Fear warns, the door is closed, and no more can appear. Each voice has its own power, for the universe mirrors the consciousness behind the words. To align with faith is to choose the voice of truth. To align with fear is to repeat the lie of lack. The flow of money is like the flow of water in a river. Faith clears the channel so the stream runs smooth, widening its banks and quickening its current. Fear clutters the river with stones of doubt, branches of worry, and dams of resistance. The water itself does not stop existing, but its passage is hindered. Remove the blocks of fear, and the flow is immediate. The supply was always there, waiting only for release. Faith does not argue with appearances. Appearances may suggest lack, but faith sees beyond. The cupboard may look empty, but faith declares, I live in an abundant universe. The account may seem small, but faith affirms, supply is on its way through perfect channels. Appearances are temporary, truth is eternal. Fear binds itself to appearances and calls them final. Faith holds to truth and watches appearances dissolve into new form. To live by faith with money is to treat every transaction as sacred. When money is given, it is sent forth with blessing. with the declaration that it will return multiplied. When money is received, it is welcomed with gratitude, no matter the amount, for gratitude anchors abundance. When money is spent, faith insists that circulation is the sign of endless flow, not depletion. Fear clings to each coin, resents each payment, and curses each expense, and in doing so it multiplies the very sense of lack it dreads. Faith releases money with joy, knowing it is but a wave of the ocean returning to the sea, sure to come back again in greater strength. Faith opens the way for unexpected channels. Fear imagines only a few sources of supply and panics when they appear closed. Faith knows that the universe is limitless in its avenues, that money can arrive in ways unimagined, that divine order arranges opportunities beyond the reach of human calculation. Fear waits for wages alone. Faith is open to gifts, ideas, opportunities, and surprises. Fear clings to one door, faith trusts the infinite corridor of doors. This alignment with faith is not passive, it calls for action, but action inspired by trust rather than panic. Fear-driven action is hasty, exhausting, and fruitless. Faith-driven action is calm, steady, and effective. The mind aligned with faith receives guidance, a sudden thought, a clear idea, an inner prompting. To act on these with confidence is to walk the path of prosperity. To ignore them in doubt is to turn away from the answer. Faith listens, fear argues. Faith responds, fear hesitates. Faith produces results, fear produces frustration. There is no true prosperity without faith, for material gain without inner certainty is fragile and fleeting. One may gather wealth through fear, yet it breeds anxiety, hoarding, and constant struggle. Faith brings not only money but peace with money, freedom in its use, and joy in its circulation. Fear says, hold on tightly lest it vanish. Faith says, release freely, for more is always coming. Fear lives in suspicion and loss. Faith lives in confidence and increase. Every moment offers the choice between faith and fear. A thought arises. What if there is not enough? This is fear. Replace it with, all my needs are met abundantly. That is faith. A bill arrives, and fear whispers, how will you ever pay this? Faith replies, this is already provided for by divine supply. The practice of catching fear and replacing it with faith is the discipline that aligns consciousness with flow. Each time faith is chosen, the channel widens. Each time fear is indulged, the channel narrows. Blessing others' prosperity multiplies your own. When you look upon the wealth, success, or abundance of another and send forth words of blessing, you align yourself with the law of increase. What you bless, you draw nearer to yourself, for blessing is a recognition of good, and recognition is the magnet of manifestation. To envy another's fortune is to affirm that supply is limited, that another's gain is your loss. Yet the truth is the opposite. The prosperity of one is proof of prosperity for all. The same law that works for another can work for you. The same fountain that fills their cup overflows into yours. There is no competition in divine supply. The sun does not run short because it shines on many. The ocean does not dry because countless rivers pour into it. The earth does not cease to bloom because gardens blossom everywhere. Prosperity is infinite, unmeasured, and without boundary. To believe otherwise is to believe in lack, and lack is only a shadow of thought. The moment you bless abundance wherever you see it, you affirm that the law of abundance is alive, active, and unlimited. In that recognition, you invite the same flow into your own life. Every thought of jealousy, criticism, or resentment toward another's success binds the flow of your own prosperity. When you say, why should they have so much? You declare that you live in a universe of scarcity. When you think, they do not deserve it, you shut yourself off from the very good you desire. Resentment poisons the channel of supply, but blessing clears it. To bless is to acknowledge the good without resistance, to say with sincerity, I rejoice in your prosperity, for it proves that prosperity is possible, and I too partake in the same law. Such words, spoken with faith, lift the consciousness into alignment with increase. The act of blessing shifts the heart from fear to love, from contraction to expansion. Love multiplies, fear diminishes. When you bless, you expand the borders of your own acceptance. You tell the universe, I am ready to receive what I see in others. I am open to the same abundance. I am willing to share in the limitless wealth of life. The universe responds to openness, not resistance. A heart filled with envy is closed, but a heart filled with blessing is open wide to receive. Consider how often people curse the wealth of others without realizing it. They say, the rich are greedy, or it is unfair that they have so much, or money only comes to those who take advantage. These are curses, words that affirm lack and injustice, words that shut out prosperity. To speak such words is to align with poverty consciousness, but to bless is to speak the language of abundance. When you say, I bless their success, for it shows me what is possible, you affirm that wealth is not limited to them but is a universal flow. What you bless in others, you allow in yourself. Blessing is not mere politeness, it is a spiritual act. It sends forth creative energy, shaping your consciousness into harmony with the law of increase. When you bless another's home, you prepare the way for your own. When you bless another's business, you prepare the way for your own. When you bless another's wealth, you prepare the way for your own. Each blessing is a seed sown, and every seed bears fruit. To curse is to sow weeds that choke prosperity. To bless is to sow flowers that bloom in due season. This principle extends beyond money into every area of life. If you long for love, bless the relationships you see around you. If you desire health, bless the vitality you see in others. If you seek opportunity, bless the success you witness in the world. Each blessing lifts you into harmony with the condition you bless. You cannot bless what you secretly despise, nor can you attract what you secretly envy. But the moment you genuinely rejoice in the good of another, you unlock the same door for yourself. Blessing others' prosperity requires sincerity. It is not enough to say the words while harboring bitterness inside. The blessing must be genuine, springing from the recognition that there is enough for all, that the universe is generous beyond measure, that wealth and success are not slices of a limited pie but streams from an endless source. To cultivate this sincerity, one must release the lie of scarcity. Each time the thought of envy arises, replace it with the truth. Their abundance is proof of abundance for me as well. Each time resentment whispers, silence it with blessing. I rejoice in their success, for it foretells my own. A gratitude and blessing walk hand in hand. Gratitude affirms the abundance already present in your life. Blessing affirms the abundance you witness in others. Together they form the atmosphere in which prosperity multiplies. A grateful heart cannot envy, for it sees its own wealth. A blessing heart cannot resent, for it sees wealth as universal. Gratitude says, thank you for what I have. Blessing says, I rejoice in what I see. Both together declare, I live in an abundant universe where supply is without end. Blessing others' prosperity also dissolves the illusion of separation. When you see another's success as your loss, you divide yourself from the universal flow. But when you bless their prosperity, you affirm unity with the law that supplies both you and them. You recognize that you are not apart from abundance, but part of it. Their gain does not reduce you, it proves the law at work. Their wealth does not take from you, it affirms that the source is endless. To bless is to join the rhythm of circulation, where giving and receiving are constant and unlimited. There is a law of reflection at work here. What you send out returns to you multiplied. If you send out curses, resentment, or criticism toward wealth, the reflection is poverty. If you send out blessings, joy, and gratitude toward wealth, the reflection is prosperity. The mirror of life does not discriminate, it only reflects. Your blessings for others return as blessings for you. Your curses for others return as obstacles for you. The choice is yours, and the result is exact. To practice this principle daily is to transform your relationship with money. Each time you encounter wealth, whether in a person, a home, a store, or a possession, silently bless it. Say, I bless this prosperity, and I open myself to the same. Each time you see someone enjoy success, affirm, I rejoice in their abundance, for it proves the law of increase is active for all. Each time envy or resentment arises, turn it into blessing, and watch how swiftly the energy shifts. Over time, this practice rewires the mind to expect prosperity instead of lack, to rejoice instead of resent, to bless instead of curse. Unlimited money is magnetized, not earned. The world has long taught that money is gained only through endless labor, sweat, and struggle, but in truth money is drawn by consciousness, not by effort alone. To believe that money is earned by toil is to bind oneself to limitation. To believe that supply is measured by hours worked or strength expended. Yet money is not a reward for strain but a reflection of thought. It flows to the one who knows it flows. It appears for the one who expects it. It multiplies for the one who welcomes it. To magnetize money is to live in harmony with the law of attraction, which declares that like draws unto like, that belief shapes form, that the invisible governs the visible. A magnet does not chase iron, it draws it. So too, money does not need to be chased when consciousness is aligned with abundance. The person who runs after money with fear, anxiety, or desperation finds it slipping further away, for fear repels what faith attracts. The person who stands in calm assurance, who declares with conviction that supply is infinite and always arriving, becomes a magnet to money. This is not laziness, nor is it passivity, but alignment. It is the knowing that money responds to vibration, not to worry. Effort without alignment is struggle. Alignment without effort is stillness. Alignment joined with inspired action is magnetism. To magnetize money, one must release the belief in limitation. The belief that there is not enough creates a field of resistance, for the magnet of lack cannot draw abundance. The belief that I must struggle to earn creates a life of endless struggle, for life mirrors the inner law one accepts. The belief that money is hard to come by makes money hard to come by. Yet the belief that money comes to me easily and in perfect ways creates ease. The belief that money is always circulating in my life creates circulation. The magnetism is in the thought, the conviction, the word spoken with faith. Unlimited money is not bound to one channel, one job, or one person. It is everywhere, waiting to flow through the open mind and the willing heart. The magnetized consciousness does not cling to a single source, for it knows that the source is infinite. If one channel closes, another opens, often greater than the first. The river does not dry when one branch is blocked, for the current finds another way. To believe that supply can only come from one place is to weaken the magnet. To trust that supply is limitless and flows in countless ways is to strengthen the magnet. The power of magnetism lies in imagination. The mind must see what it desires as already present, must feel the joy of possession before it appears, must give thanks for it as if it were already in hand. This inner seeing creates the vibration that attracts. Money is not magnetized by doubt but by certainty, not by longing but by knowing, not by begging but by claiming. The one who says, I hope it will come, weakens the field, but the one who says, it is mine by right of divine supply, strengthens it. Imagination backed by faith is the magnet that shapes reality. Words too are magnets. Every word spoken sends forth energy, either attracting or repelling supply. To say I am always broke is to magnetize lack. To say I never have enough is to attract insufficiency. To say money comes to me easily and abundantly is to call forth abundance. To say everything I spend returns multiplied is to open the floodgates of increase. Words are not idle sounds but forces, spoken with belief. They charge the atmosphere with magnetism, drawing money to their likeness. Gratitude is one of the strongest magnets of all. When you are grateful for the money you have, no matter how small, you send forth a vibration of increase. Gratitude says to the universe, I recognize abundance, I affirm abundance, I am ready for more. Complaint, on the other hand, weakens the magnet. To complain of lack is to affirm lack, to see only emptiness is to attract more emptiness. Gratitude multiplies what it touches. The magnetized life is a grateful life, seeing every coin as a seed, every payment as circulation, every receipt as proof of the law of supply. Generosity too strengthens the magnet. The one who clutches money in fear weakens their magnetic power, for fear is contraction. The one who gives freely expands their magnetism, for generosity is faith in circulation. To release money with joy is to declare, I live in an abundant universe, and this money returns to me multiplied. The generous hand is a magnet, always filled again. The closed fist holds little and receives less, but the open hand gives and receives without measure. Giving is not loss but multiplication, for every gift sent forth carries the magnetism of increase. The magnetism of unlimited money also requires harmony within. Anger, resentment, and envy are forces of resistance, scattering energy and repelling supply. Peace, joy, and love are forces of attraction, aligning the heart with abundance. To carry bitterness against wealth is to push wealth away. To bless wealth wherever it is found is to draw it near. To curse money as evil is to sever its flow. To honor money as divine circulation is to welcome its presence. Magnetism arises from harmony, and harmony arises from truth that supply is infinite, that abundance is natural, that prosperity is divine. When money is magnetized, it often comes in unexpected ways. Faith opens the door to surprises, gifts, opportunities, and sudden channels of provision. The magnetized mind does not ask, from where, but trusts that the where will appear. The method is the universe's concern. The belief is the individual's. The magnet does not choose which piece of iron it will draw, it simply draws. The consciousness of abundance does not dictate how money must appear, it simply expects that it will. The more one releases the need to control the channel, the stronger the magnet becomes. Magnetism is not about force but attraction. It is not about demanding but aligning. It is not about chasing but allowing. The person who chases money out of fear sends forth the vibration of desperation, and money slips away. The person who stands calm in faith, declaring abundance and giving thanks for supply, draws money naturally, without strain. The magnet does not sweat to attract, it attracts by nature. The magnetized mind attracts by consciousness. This is why unlimited money cannot be earned by labor alone, but is drawn by thought, by belief, by the inner law of attraction. Every time you touch money, you speak, even if your mouth is silent. Every time you hold it, pass it, count it, spend it, receive it, your vibration issues a command. The world has lied to you and told you that money is neutral, that it is separate from spirit, that it is a tool to be used and feared in equal measure. But I tell you, money is not a dead thing. It is alive. It is a servant of law, and it listens with perfect obedience to the tone of your heart and the rhythm of your word. Most people touch money in fear. They hold it with hesitation, they count it with tension, they spend it with dread. They say, I can't afford that, and wonder why money flees. They say, money doesn't come easily, and wonder why their purse is empty. They speak lack while holding supply. They declare emptiness while touching proof of the infinite. And then they ask why it does not multiply. But money does not respond to effort. It responds to energy, to blessing, to command. You must now treat every money moment as sacred. Every bill you hold, every card you swipe, every coin you find, every transaction you enter. These are not mundane acts. These are opportunities for demonstration. The moment you touch money, you are standing at a spiritual altar. And your word in that moment either multiplies or diminishes your future. Do not let another dollar pass through your hands without blessing it, without commanding it, without speaking the truth over it. I say this plainly, if you are not speaking increase over your money, you are silently permitting loss, because silence is not neutral. In the realm of law, silence is submission. When you say nothing, the world speaks for you. It inserts fear, it inserts confusion, it inserts lack. But when you speak, when you declare with rhythm and truth, then money must obey. Not because of magic, but because of law. Let your new ritual begin today. Every time you touch money, no matter the amount, you will say a sentence, not just any sentence, a sacred command, one that carries divine substance, creative vibration, and spiritual finality. And when you say it, you must not speak as one who hopes. You must speak as one who knows. because the law does not respond to begging, it responds to certainty. Let your fingers become the transmitters of blessing. Let your tongue become the rod of multiplication. Let your vibration match the truth of divine supply. You are not spending money. You are circulating it. You are not losing value. You are commanding return. You are not fearing lack. You are declaring increase. Say this when you touch money. Say it with breath. Say it with rhythm. Say it with authority. And then watch what follows. Because when you speak to money in alignment, money becomes your servant, and the servant always obeys the master who knows their power. Money is not dirty. It is not evil. It is not carnal. That is the world's doctrine, not the law of spirit. The great deception is this, that money belongs to man, that it is created by governments, that it is earned by toil and lost by misstep. But I declare to you boldly, money is God in visible supply form. It is divine substance made manifest. It is the shadow of the real, and it is drawn to those who recognize it as sacred. There is no conflict between money and spirit, only between ignorance and truth. The same God who gives you life gives you bread. The same source that breathed you into being holds nothing back from your daily need. When you separate money from the divine, you strip it of power. But when you unite it with the law of good, you allow it to flow, to increase, to serve. The issue is never the money. It is always the mind that handles it. Do not treat money as common. Do not treat it with fear, with guilt, or with disdain. Do not say, "It's just $1." Do not say, "I hate money." Do not mock the instrument of your good. What you scorn cannot stay. What you resist cannot return. What you resent, you repel. But what you bless, you multiply. What you honor, you attract. What you speak into with truth returns with favor. Money is spiritual. It is a medium of exchange, yes, but it is also a mirror. It reflects your beliefs. It reflects your vibration. It reflects your consciousness. If you think lack, it dries up. If you feel guilt, it withholds. But if you see it as divine substance, if you speak to it as a child of the infinite, it will move toward you in increasing waves. Never again say, "Money is hard to come by." Instead, say, "God is my instant, constant, and lavish supply. Large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace, in perfect ways." That is not poetry. That is law. And when spoken in rhythm, with belief, with feeling, it becomes form. It does not matter how much money you have now. What matters is how you speak to it. Money is like water. It flows where it is welcomed. It evaporates where it is cursed. It is drawn to peace. It is magnetized by confidence. It is repelled by resentment. You must become a sacred channel through which money moves freely. Not hoarded, not feared, not glorified, but blessed. Bless every dollar that enters your world. Bless every coin you find. Bless every payment you send. And say aloud, "This money is divine substance. It cannot be depleted. It flows to me and through me under grace and multiplies as it goes." You will find that what once escaped you now lingers. What once delayed now arrives. What once hid now reveals itself. Not because the money has changed, but because you have. And as within, so without. As you speak, so it is. As you bless, so you receive. Let money become your sacred servant and speak to it as such. Whatever you bless, multiplies. This is not theory. It is not mysticism. It is spiritual law. It does not matter what the world economy says. It does not matter what your account balance says. The moment you bless something in truth, fully, lovingly, without fear, you open the floodgates of divine increase. And when it comes to money, this law works with precise obedience. The law of multiplication is embedded in all of creation. The seed multiplies. The loaves and fishes multiplied. The talents, when invested, multiplied. It is God's delight to give in abundance, but that abundance cannot enter a heart that curses its own supply. Most people hold their last dollar in fear. They say, "I must hold on or I'll have none." But I say, bless that dollar, love that dollar, speak to it, multiply it with your word. For $1, blessed and declared as divine substance, contains the spiritual pattern of millions. Let me give you the example of a woman who had only $2 left. The world would have said she was broke, but she held those dollars in her hand and said, "This is God's money. It is spiritual substance. It cannot be depleted. I bless it and see it multiply under grace in perfect ways." Within the week, $6,000 had come to her from a channel she had not imagined. Did the words create the money? Number they released it. The money was always there, waiting for her vibration to rise to its level. You see, the money is never far. It is only out of tune with your frequency. Your word is your tuning fork. Your decree is your alignment. Your blessing is your invitation. Stop asking where the money is. Start declaring, money is here. Money is ready. Money now multiplies under grace. And speak that not as a wish, but as a truth already in motion. The loaves and fishes were not multiplied through effort. They were not multiplied through counting. They were multiplied through gratitude and declaration. Jesus looked up, gave thanks, and then broke. And it was in the breaking that the increase came. You too must look at what you have, not with fear, but with faith, not with shrinking, but with spiritual boldness. Take what you have and speak this. I bless this money. I bless its source. I bless its direction. And I now see it return to me multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do not wait until you have more to speak. Speak now. Speak when it is small. Speak when it looks insufficient. For the one who speaks to little is the one who governs much. The one who fears smallness will never taste overflow, but the one who sees divine pattern in every dollar touches the rhythm of multiplication. Money is not logical, it is lawful, and law listens to your voice. Law responds to your blessing. Law moves where you speak. So touch your money, even if it is $1, and say, "This money multiplies because I have blessed it in truth." And it shall be so, not by might, not by manipulation, but by the spoken word in alignment with divine law. Now I give you the sentence, not a charm, not a spell, not a phrase to recite without power. This is a divine declaration, a command to law, a vibration that aligns your voice with the invisible supply waiting to take shape. You are not saying it to beg. You are not saying it to test. You are saying it because you now understand that money obeys the spoken word. Say this aloud every time you touch money. Divine substance cannot be depleted. I bless this money and see it multiply under grace in perfect ways. Say it when you receive a payment. Say it when you pay a bill. Say it when you buy groceries, when you tip, when you transfer, when you count, when you give. Say it with the breath of certainty. Say it slowly. Say it like a king addressing his court. Say it like a priest sanctifying an offering, because that is what you are doing. You are sanctifying your substance. You are commanding multiplication. The law hears your rhythm. The universe bends to your word. You do not need to know the channel. You do not need to calculate the how. The sentence is not about logic. It is about vibration. When you say it, you shift your frequency. When you say it, you rise above fear. When you say it, you align with the divine storehouse that is always full. Let your relationship with money be purified. You no longer touch it in dread. You no longer feel shame in your body when you spend. You no longer shrink when you give. You no longer flinch when you look at your account. You speak the sentence, and the sentence governs the result. Money must multiply where it is blessed. That is law. Not because of you, but because of the source behind you. You are not the origin. You are the speaker. and the speaker who knows their power walks in plenty. So touch the dollar, touch the coins, touch the card, and say, "Divine substance cannot be depleted. I bless this money and see it multiply under grace in perfect ways." And say it as many times as needed until your body feels the truth, until your mind bows to law, until the vibration takes root, and you will see the proof. Because law, once activated by word, cannot return void. You must understand this now with fierce clarity. If money keeps fleeing you, it is not because money is unfaithful. It is because your word has pushed it away. Every idle sentence you speak against your own supply becomes a gate slammed shut in the face of abundance. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," money goes faster than it comes. "I'm always broke. This is too expensive." You are not describing a condition, you are creating one. Law does not wait to see if you are joking. It does not check your mood. It does not analyze your intent. It obeys your vibration. The subconscious hears your every declaration and moves to match your belief. You may speak these things lightly, passively, habitually, but the law receives them legally, not casually. And so your money hears, "There is never enough," and it disperses. It hears, "I'm not worthy," and it reroutes. It hears, "I always lose," and it disappears. You cannot curse your garden and expect a harvest. You cannot mock your field and expect fruit. Money is a divine instrument. It has ears. It is spiritual substance in form, and when handled with sarcasm, panic, or complaint, it withdraws. Not as punishment, but as principle. What is unblessed cannot stay. What is feared cannot flow. What is shamed cannot serve. So I ask you now, what have you been speaking over your money? What have you muttered when paying a bill? What have you whispered when looking at your account? What have you rehearsed to friends about your financial situation? Every phrase is a seed, and every seed brings forth after its kind. It is time to speak differently. It is time to bless what you once buried, to honor what you once mocked, to declare life where you once rehearsed lack. Say this when you touch your wallet, your bank app, your receipts. "I do not curse my supply. I declare it sacred. Money flows to me freely now, and I speak only life over it." This is not denial. This is divine instruction. You are not ignoring reality. You are reshaping it. And the reality that forms next will be the one that obeys your most dominant word. So guard your mouth. Guard your tongue. Let no false prophecy proceed from your lips. You are no longer the victim of money. You are the governor of it. And what you govern in spirit will obey you in form. Every time you pay a bill, every time you part with money, you are declaring what you believe about supply. Most people believe they are losing something when they pay. They believe they are being drained. But I tell you the truth. You are not spending money. You are circulating divine substance. And what you circulate with joy returns to you multiplied. Payment is not depletion. It is a spiritual transaction. It is proof that you trust the source of all good to refill what you have released. Never again speak fear over payment. Never again sigh when the rent is due. Never again groan when the bill arrives. These reactions are spells. They are anti-blessings. And the law, hearing your tone, responds not with increase but with echo, echoing the fear you just rehearsed. You must now handle your money as a priest handles the sacred cup, with reverence, with awareness, with spiritual rhythm. When you pay for anything, whisper this aloud, or in your heart if you must. I pay this in joy, and it returns to me multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not poetry. This is spiritual math. What you give in joy always returns with increase. What you release in fear delays return. What you part with in gratitude creates immediate pathways for more. Payment is proof of circulation, and circulation is the law of life. Stagnation is the illusion of loss. You were never meant to hoard, to clutch, to panic. You were meant to bless, to trust, to command flow. Say this when the bill arrives. This is not a burden. It is proof I am trusted with substance. I send it forth, and it shall return tenfold. Now your bills are no longer triggers. They are tests of trust. And when you speak truth into them, they transform from chains to channels. Your rent becomes a portal, your electricity a gateway, your tuition a divine investment. Bless your payments, bless your giving, bless your outgoing with the same power you bless your incoming, because it is all one flow, all one law, and that which you handle with joy shall return with power. Every visible blessing begins with an invisible word. There is no exception. Your riches do not begin in the bank. They do not begin in the check, the job, or the client. They begin in the sentence. They begin with what you say before they appear. Most people wait to speak abundance until they see it, but that is not law. That is reaction. Law is cause. And the cause of riches is always the spoken word in faith. I have seen it time and time again. A woman stood with nothing but belief. No money in sight, no offers, no open doors. But she spoke day and night. I see yellow bills, I see green bills, I see pink checks with divine abundance written in my name. She saw it, she felt it, she spoke it. Before a dollar had shown its face, she was speaking the truth that preceded it. And in time, because time is never the barrier of spirit, her mailbox began to agree. Yellow bills, green bills, pink checks. The very pattern she had declared appeared in form, not because she forced it, but because she had called it. Do not wait until you have proof to speak. Speak, and the proof will follow. Do not say, I'll believe it when I see it. That is the language of delay. Say instead, I'll see it because I have spoken it. For your world is but an echo of your most dominant decree. Scripture declares, God calleth those things which be not as though they were. Romans 4:17. This is the divine pattern, not describing the seen but commanding the unseen, not waiting for riches to appear, but creating them in word and walking in that word until it becomes form. Your sentence is your spiritual mold. When you speak riches in truth, your subconscious accepts the design, and then your outer world begins to match what your inner world has already shaped. So say it before it arrives. Say it while the purse feels empty. Say it while the account looks barren. Say it not to convince yourself, but to instruct law. And law, once instructed, begins to gather the necessary substance to fulfill your decree. Say this now. I see riches surrounding me. I walk in financial peace. Every day, in every way, my supply multiplies, visible and invisible. And speak it again tomorrow, and again the next day, until your inner world accepts it as fact, until your outer world can no longer resist. Because when the word becomes law in your soul, it must become matter in your hand. Do not jest with money. Do not mock your supply. Do not make yourself the punchline of poverty and expect wealth to honor you. This is a warning not from fear, but from divine clarity. Your subconscious has no sense of humor. It records every word you speak as instruction. It does not know when you are joking. It only knows vibration, tone, energy. It hears your laughter as law. It accepts your sarcasm as command. And then it constructs your experience in kind. I remember a woman who repeatedly said, "One day I'll be living in a trunk on the side of the road." She laughed when she said it. Others laughed with her. But her subconscious was not laughing. It was taking notes. It was preparing the trunk. It was arranging the condition. And soon enough, that was exactly where she found herself, living in a trunk on the side of the road. Not because she lacked ability, not because she lacked opportunity, but because she prophesied her own downfall. You must understand, there is no such thing as a neutral word. There are only constructive words and destructive ones, words that align with truth and words that align with fear. When you joke about being broke, your subconscious removes money to match. When you mock the rich, Your mind makes sure you never become one. When you laugh at your own lack, you lengthen your season of scarcity. Stop using your tongue to entertain others at the expense of your own good. Words are not toys. They are tools. They are weapons. They are sacred instruments of law. Use them with reverence. Use them with awareness. Use them to create, not to collapse. If you have spoken foolishly about your finances, cancel it now. Speak this aloud. Every idle word I have spoken about money is now neutralized, reversed, and replaced by divine truth. Then replace the curse with blessing. Replace the sarcasm with structure. Replace the joke with justice. And speak only what you are ready to see appear. Say this instead. I speak only increase. I speak only favor. I speak only divine provision. Let your words become your wealth. Let your speech become your storehouse. Let no falsehood leave your lips, because every sentence is a seed, and what you sow, you must receive. If you would see wealth appear in your outer world, you must first see it and speak it in your inner one. This is the formula of manifestation. This is the divine architecture. First, the vision, then the vibration, then the visible. All things created first appear in imagination, then are sealed in word, then formed in reality. This is the rhythm of divine demonstration, and it cannot be bypassed. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be replaced by logic, labor, or luck. You must become the architect of your wealth. You must sit in the sanctuary of your spirit and build, not with bricks, but with words. Not with budgets, but with belief. You must see your riches before the world can. You must speak your abundance before the world confirms it. The law waits for a leader, and your leadership begins with image and word. The imagination is the womb. The spoken word is the seed. The demonstration is the birth. If you try to produce without seeing and saying, you will push in vain. But if you combine clear vision with sacred speech, the law will deliver. Let this become your daily ritual. Close your eyes and see your wealth. Not in fantasy, not in craving, but in truth. See the bills stacked in your drawer. See the payments complete. See the accounts overflowing. See the joy of giving. See the freedom of having. Do not wonder how. That is not your task. Your task is to form the blueprint, and the law will build it. Then speak what you see. Declare it aloud, even if your surroundings contradict it, even if the bank account mocks it, even if the world calls you delusional. Say it anyway, because what you speak in alignment must become form. Say, I see my wealth. I feel my abundance. I declare my supply. What I speak must now appear under grace and in perfect timing. And walk as one who has already received. Stop begging. Stop pleading. Start agreeing. Let your body move in rhythm with your decree. Stand tall. Speak clearly. Act with peace. Give with joy. Receive with gratitude. These are not performance, they are spiritual alignment. Your demonstration does not come by waiting. It comes by building. And building happens in silence, in speech, in the unseen. Then suddenly it appears, and the world calls it luck. But you know, it is law. So combine vision with vibration, combine image with declaration, and what you build inside will soon stand before you outside. Because when spirit hears both your sight and your sound, it delivers in full. There is a sacred window the world has forgotten, the moment before sleep and the moment of waking. These are the gates of the subconscious. These are the moments when your mind is most fertile, most receptive, most impressionable. And what you speak during these gates does not vanish. It roots itself deep in the soil of your being and governs what follows. So I say to you, bless your money at night and bless it in the morning, not as routine, not as superstition, but as law. Law works by repetition. Law responds to rhythm. You would not water a plant once and expect it to bloom. So do not speak your prosperity once and expect it to multiply. Speak it daily. Speak it at the doorposts of your day. Before you close your eyes at night, speak this sentence aloud. Let it be the last vibration your body remembers. I now draw from the abundance within and see wealth without. Every dollar I touch returns to me blessed and multiplied. Let this sentence travel with you into sleep. Let it echo through your subconscious chambers. Let your dream state be governed by truth, not fear. While you sleep, the seed will be watered. While you sleep, the subconscious will rearrange. While you sleep, spirit will move unseen channels into place. Then, when morning comes, do not touch your phone, your email, your news, until you have spoken the law again. Greet your supply. Greet the invisible abundance that now rushes toward you. Speak the sentence again with fresh breath and fresh expectation. I now draw from the abundance within and see wealth without. Every dollar I touch returns to me blessed and multiplied. Touch your wallet, touch your purse, touch your phone if it carries your digital accounts, and bless them, not out of duty, but out of dominion. Let them become symbols of spiritual obedience. Let them remind you that every object connected to your finances must now obey your vibration. Night and morning, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega of your day. Let truth govern them both, and the middle shall fall in line. This is the double blessing. This is the daily rhythm of the spiritually prosperous, not occasional, not reactive, but rhythmic, bold, and faithful. What you speak in darkness appears in light. What you declare at rest shows up in motion. What you bless at sunrise returns by sundown. And so it is. There is one barrier more dangerous than doubt, more stubborn than fear, more hidden than lack. It is guilt. Guilt about wealth, guilt about wanting more, guilt about receiving while others lack. This is the invisible thief of abundance. For even when the law is spoken and the word is right, guilt in the heart will reject what the voice has commanded. You must cleanse yourself of every false belief that says you are unworthy of riches, that wanting money is selfish, that having more is wrong. These are not spiritual ideas. They are human interpretations of fear, wrapped in morality and shame. But the truth is this: your wealth serves God when you receive it in righteousness. The law is not offended by your overflow. The Spirit is not jealous of your storehouse. The infinite is not limited by your portion. There is no scarcity in divine mind. When you receive, you do not take from others. You simply align faster. You become an example of law in action, a testimony that truth does not fail. I have said before, and I say it again, nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen. Nothing is too good to last. These words must replace the guilt in your gut. These truths must override the inherited shame of generations. If you feel guilt when receiving, speak this: it is right for me to prosper. I use money in love, and money flows to me in peace. And if the voice of shame whispers, "Who are you to have more?" answer with law: I am a child of the Most High. I inherit all good. I release guilt and walk in grace. You cannot speak multiplication while holding on to guilt. You cannot bless your money and then hate yourself for having it. These are contradictions that collapse demonstration. But when you release guilt, you release restriction. When you accept that your wealth blesses others, you open wider channels. Say it with me now: my wealth is a blessing to all. I release guilt. I walk in truth. I receive with ease, and I give with joy. Let this become your new truth. Let it soak into your bones. Let it echo louder than the old voices. You are not here to struggle. You are not here to shrink. You are here to demonstrate what is possible when guilt dies and law reigns. And from this new place, abundance comes freely. The law never fails. It is not partial. It is not delayed by distance, by economy, or by opinion. It does not consider how long you've struggled or how many times you've cried. It responds to the spoken word of truth, declared in rhythm, backed by faith, and sealed with silence. When you speak rightly and do not contradict your word, the law goes to work. I once knew a woman in great need. She was out of work. Rent was due. Fear swirled around her like a storm. But she had learned the law, and she did not beg. She did not panic. She closed her eyes, touched her empty wallet, and spoke this sentence aloud. God is my immediate and inexhaustible supply. Unexpected channels open to me now. She said it once, and again, and again. Not frantically, but faithfully. Then she went about her day. Hours later, she walked past a bush and felt drawn to look beneath it. There, tucked under leaves, was an envelope with her name on it. Inside, the exact amount she needed, enough to pay her rent in full and buy food for the week. Some would call that coincidence. I call it demonstration. Because this same rhythm has happened to thousands. The moment they stop begging and start declaring, the law begins to shape new channels. The moment they stop rehearsing fear and start speaking supply, the invisible becomes visible. You may say, but that hasn't happened for me. Then I ask you, have you spoken in faith or in fear? Have you declared with authority or have you hoped with doubt? The law hears certainty, not emotion, not noise, certainty. Speak now. The law never fails. I declare my supply, and it must appear, under grace and in perfect ways. Let this become your daily conviction. Do not wonder how. Do not watch the clock. Simply speak and walk and trust. Because when the word is spoken in rhythm with truth, the form must follow. The law never forgets your decree. It never misplaces your request. It always fulfills your spoken pattern. So pattern your words in faith, and the results will be undeniable. There is no chaos in spirit. There is no confusion in divine mind. Only man disorganizes what God has already made whole. If your finances feel tangled, heavy, delayed, or unclear, it is not because God has withheld your good. It is because your vibration has not yet aligned with divine order. You have spoken inconsistently. You have feared while paying. You have blessed in one breath and complained in the next. And law, which must reflect your rhythm, has mirrored your disorder. But the moment you bring your words, your feelings, and your decisions into harmony, you activate divine order in your finances. Order is not about budgeting. It is not about paperwork. It is not about being perfect. It is about spiritual alignment. It is about inner clarity that manifests as outer peace. And divine order begins with your decree. Speak this daily. Every dollar in my world is aligned, assigned, and multiplying under grace. Let that be the spiritual architecture of your money, aligned with truth, assigned to good, and multiplying with ease. No more rogue spending driven by fear. No more hiding from bills. No more disowning your wealth. You are the governor of your financial reality, and governors do not guess, they command. This is your spiritual instruction. Tithe in faith, not in fear. Give with joy, not with guilt. Save in wisdom, not in worry. Spend in peace, not in panic. Let every action with money be a testimony of trust. Money is not your master, it is your tool. It is the servant of your spoken decree. So use it with reverence, use it with rhythm, and speak into every financial decision this law. I do not manage money by might. I govern it by divine order, and what is governed by law cannot fail. Let your inner world reflect the peace of knowing your supply is steady, your seed is blessed, and your return is multiplying even now. When order reigns inside, chaos must bow outside. You are not becoming prosperous. You are now aligned with the truth that you already are. Walk in that knowing, act in that rhythm, and watch your money rise to meet the vibration of your word. Now you know, and once you know, you cannot return to the old vibration. You cannot unknow law. You cannot unspeak truth. The power has always been yours, but now it is conscious. Now it is awakened. And I charge you, child of God, not to walk forward in fear, but to walk forward in financial dominion. You are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you, waiting for your voice, waiting for your consistency, waiting for your blessing. You have been given the keys to increase, the sentence of multiplication, the law of spoken truth, the act of sacred circulation, the rhythm of night and morning declaration. These are not theories. These are not ideas. They are tools of demonstration. Use them. Touch your money and speak. Pay your bills and bless. See lack and declare abundance. Feel doubt and override it with rhythm. Let no financial moment pass without awareness. Let no coin slip through your fingers without praise. Let no transaction escape your vibration. And now, for your final charge, say this aloud with boldness. Money now comes to me from expected and unexpected sources. I walk in plenty. I speak in plenty. I live in the law of increase. My supply is sure. My word is law, and my wealth is unfolding even now. Again. My supply is sure. My word is law, and my wealth is unfolding even now. Say it until the rhythm writes itself into your body, until the mind submits, until the outer world must obey. You are not beneath money. You are not afraid of it. You are not confused by it. You now handle it as a priest handles the sacred, with truth, with power, with joy. Speak this every time you touch money, and watch what follows, because spirit is listening, law is moving, and your word, once spoken in faith, cannot return void. And so it is.